Happy Friday, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Great to be here with you this morning. Straight up, 6 o'clock in America's finest city. And it's not even close, not even particularly close. We are Ben and Woods. Thanks for watching on YouTube. You can go and click like and subscribe to the feed so you can see us every morning if you want to see us. I'm in a very plain white tee this morning. Plain white tees. Hey there, Delilah.
I've heard of them.
I have heard of them as well.
Hey there, Delilah.
Wonder what those guys are up to these days. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
Benjamin Higgins. Speaking of plain white tees, Delilah, it's good to see you, my friend.
Good morning. It's good to make it to another Friday this week.
You've got one of your special Christmas shirts from Paulie.
Correct.
On. Yeah, it's comfy, isn't it?
Kind of the olive green version here.
You look good in olive green.
Thank you.
Olive drab. Like a army man.
Yes, I'm the noted army man of the group here.
You look more military today than anyone. You would have been a really good general, but
very bad private.
But the problem, you have to ascend through the ranks. But if they could have hired you on the spot to be like, you do all the paperwork, lead the men, that would be good. It would be the rope course, the monkey bars, the shooting, the basic training, you're done.
PT.
Yeah. But you could have, you would be a good hire for the military, just not as like a soldier. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of like a good manager. You don't have to play baseball all the time.
In the modern military, I know they have lots of different jobs, including more, professional type skills.
But all those people still have to go through basic.
But they still have to go through, the beginning rigorous training to get through.
So like Elvis, right? When he had to, go in the draft and everything else. And his job in the military was going to be an entertainer. Why didn't they just say, all right, just go entertain. You don't have to do this.
I always wondered that myself. Because there are, there's musicians in the military.
100%.
The band players, different. They need to recruit people who play enough different instruments so they can have an entire band together, right? To play the national anthem and other events, important things. Hail to the chief. Someone needs to do that. They're all members of the military.
So why do they have to go through the normal rigors of what the guys that are going to be on the front lines?
I guess eventually if push comes to shove and you're the last one, it's like you gotta be ready to fight.
I just play the trumpet, man. They made me come here. Well, listen. I don't want to get off on a tangent too much this morning, but that's kind of what Foreplay is for. No Padres game last night, so it's going to be a little bit more loose today, but we do have a good show for you. It's a City Connect Friday here on Ben and Woods. Paulie's got the beautiful graphics. Paulie's got his pink shirt on. I've got my City Connect hat on. I did say something to Hannah this morning, and I wonder if you guys agree. Dodgers are coming in town tonight.
Yes.
Tyler Glasnow's on the bump. He's really good. Really good. They have a really good lineup. They're a good team.
I've heard of him.
I said to Hannah, I said, as a 48-year-old pasty white guy, I realized that the City Connects were not made for me. I do enjoy this hat. My kids wear them. We match it up, the whole thing. I said, do you find it, if we lost tonight, do you find it more embarrassing when we lose in the City Connects at home on Friday? She said, absolutely, 100%. And I said, do you feel like the Dodgers run out onto the field and they're like, when they look over and they see, Mike Shildt in the City Connects, when they look over and they see, some of the guys that don't look the best in the City Connect unis. I said, I said, do you wonder, will they keep these forever? She goes, oh, yeah, I think they'll be here forever. Do you guys agree?
I do have that feeling
I agree with
a
the
little
first
bit.
part. I think I was told, these were only, the plan at least was, City Connects were only going to be around for 3 years-ish. And then I don't know if they cycle in and get it. I mean, there's still teams that don't have City Connect uniforms.
Is that true?
Yeah, well, I know they just debuted some new ones this year. The Mets just got theirs. Yeah. The Rays just got theirs.
They've done 5 or 6 a year?
Per year, yeah. So it's kind of slowly cycling through. I do know Padres are 0-3 on City Connect Fridays so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't win
They don't win at night.
They don't win at night either.
That's true. Night home games are all bad, but they lost their first one to the Giants 8-3. They lost to the Blue Jays 5-1, and they lost to the Phillies 9-3.
So we get bodied in the
3
City
of their
Connects.
worst losses of the season have come on home City Connect Friday nights.
Now, Jeter says Dad bod looks weird in the City Connects. Yeah, I like this hat. I think I look okay in it. Not great. It's not great on me.
It's a good hat.
It's a good hat.
I like the colors.
But
the
let's
mint.
Let's be honest. It is Dominic, this is such a good point. And they always show this guy on NFL broadcasts. It's like the guy at the NFL game, all dressed up in a costume. His team loses. And then he has to walk out of the stadium dressed like that. That's not that extreme, but you see the guys.
The Raiders would lose at home. Dr. Death has to walk back out to the parking lot in Oakland and back in the day.
Walk out to his Camry, in full riot gear and spikes coming out of him, and people are like, you just lost by 40, dude. What are you doing? So, I don't know, just a little observation I had this morning. But I am repping the City Connect because that's what, I do like the hat. I absolutely like the hat. But
it's become part of the fabric now.
Of course.
Like Friday night City Connects, it feels weird. It would have felt weird to come in with a brown hoodie today or something.
Correct. Yeah.
It's City Connect Day.
It's City Connect Day, and, I'm going to embrace it as best. I'm under no mandate, by the way. This is not a mandated, like Eric Krupner didn't say, you guys better be repping the City Connect because, clearly you're going to break the rules. You're repping the Army, the camo today. Actually,
I'm on the Sunday.
You're on the Sunday
already, I guess. Yeah,
today. So I do like the lid. But Paulie and I, we know from experience when we went out to fantasy camp and we put the uniforms on, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I started to cry a little bit.
Every year at fantasy camp, they give us 2 sets of uniforms for the week.
Yeah.
And you come in the morning and find out which game you're playing.
Which one you're wearing.
Home or away or whatever. And we've had the home pinstripes, which were great. And
the Road Browns, amazing.
Yeah, and this year, back in January, we had the City Connects and the military camo, neither of which made any of the overweight, old white guys look good at all.
When on the first City Connect Day, I put the uni on, and I went into the mirror, and I looked at myself in the mirror, and I went... I look like a fat, plump candy cane. And I said, it's not good, man. It's not good at all, dude. And I remember
no photos today.
I remember walking out to the field like, it's like, it reminded me of like when my dad used to make me wear I'm not buying you new pants. I got some old softball pants. Dad, my jersey's green. These are blue and orange. I don't want to wear these. Well, we don't have time to go to the store. Put these on. Walking out to the field, dude. So, listen. I would like to get I'd like to get a win in these unis tonight. That's why I wore it, just in case. Tall order though, certainly going up against Trevor Glasnow, but
or Tyler.
I'm sorry, Tyler Glasnow, not Trevor Glasnow. He doesn't exist as far as I know. He's a very unfortunately, he's a very likable guy. I did watch a couple of clips with him yesterday on Eric Hosmer's Instagram, and I watched the interview with him, and I went, he's so likable. He's a likable guy. I hope he gets his ass rocked tonight. But I was like, God, they used to sign guys that you would hate, and you're like, oh, good, he's on their team. I hate that guy. And now they're signing all these nice guys, and you're like, I kind of like Mookie, and how do you get mad at Shohei? And now they got Tyler Glass now. I'm like, this really sucks, man. This really, really sucks. So
it was always their kryptonite. They may be good, but they really were easy to dislike.
Yes,
and it is becoming
it's getting a little
harder
more difficult.
To do so.
Yeah, I know, Matthew. I was on Eric Hosmer's Instagram. As I said before, he's putting out good content. I don't know what you want me to say. The content I'm watching is, I'm going, this is
Wait
real.
until the stuff Xander Bogaerts is putting out in about 9 years.
Yeah.
It's frustrating us.
Oh, my Lord. We got a big day here on Ben and Woods, certainly. We've got a big announcement coming up at, what time are we doing that?
7 a.m.
7 a.m. We'll have some details for you on the 3rd annual-ish Ben and Woods Open.
Today is National Golf Day, so we planned it just like this to make sure that we were making our big announcement on National Golf Day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly, we didn't plan that at all.
We woke up this morning and found out that it was National Golf Day.
That's exactly right.
Dude, I don't know about you guys. All day yesterday, I could not stop getting the harp sound that we played out of my head. All day long.
All day.
Yep, 10 times. Just kept thinking about
I
it.
was driving my wife insane. She's like, "Stop!" I'm like, "It was so funny."
Were you playing it or doing it with your mouth?
With my mouth? Like,
Me too.
if I had one, I would have played it.
I need one.
You do?
Yeah, said that yesterday.
You actually want one.
I don't want one. I want. You got one? You son of a bitch! Look at you. How long did you get this?
Through the magic of modern delivery services, we got Woods' his
Oh,
very
you got me
own.
one.
That same day
Mouth
delivery
harp
on
or-
Amazon is a real thing.
Do you have any idea how to play it?
Yeah, I've played one before, but it was a long time.
Does it have come with instructions? So
does.
Woods has opened it up.
I think I know.
He's got it in his mouth. It looks like some sort of key to a weird locker or something.
Ow! Ow! Dang, that was my teeth.
Oh, I heard that.
I
felt that.
That sounded bad.
I think I just chipped my tooth.
I felt that.
Oh my God, this is the greatest day of my life. Thank you guys. Oh, hurt kind of. This part like slaps against your lip. Ow!
Don't break it in the first 5 minutes. We spent good show funds on that.
You guys are the absolute goats. The goats. I love you. Thank you.
Got you.
I'm so happy right
You
now.
said something. We did that right around this time yesterday, and you said,
I want one.
"God, I want one of those."
hurts.
Hannah, Bo, Taylor were very sorry that he's coming home with his own mouth harp that he can practice all weekend long.
This is unreal. Where'd you guys get this? Amazon?
Yeah.
God, they are brilliant.
Same day shipping.
Same day shipping. Next thing you know, I got.
Paulie sent it to my house. I got home. It was right there. All right. I get anything in a day now. I mean, can you imagine in the old days?
I'm so happy.
You'd be driving around like, I don't know, do you think Guitar Center has one? And you drive out to La Mesa and you get there and they go, no, we don't have one of those.
Bro, it's not
like,
1865.
Maybe try Music Warehouse down in
Convoy.
Yeah. So, now you're heading to Kearney Mesa and you go, I don't know, do you think we can find this thing?
You guys rule so hard. I had no idea I was getting this treat this morning. Somebody yesterday murdered me. They tweeted me. They said something. They said, chills when Woods plays the national anthem on the juice harp before game one of the World Series. All right, here we try.
You're pretty good.
Not bad.
Really
Not bad.
good.
I mean,
All right.
you're changing the tone of it. That's for sure.
Surprisingly, really
I
good.
recognize the tune.
I am so. Steve wants to know why can't the didgeridoo get some attention? We have one at my home. It's like 6 feet tall, dude. I'm not gonna drag the didgeridoo.
That would have
in.
probably been extra shipping. This one was free shipping we got. So, how does he make it sound so rich and deep though?
I don't know.
You're kind of twangy and.
It's the teeth. Normally I say avoid the teeth. On this. Yeah, this is what happens being born in the South. It just comes natural. You hand us one of these and it's over.
All right, well, we're not San Diego's #1 morning show for nothing.
That was amazing.
All right, let's get going here on a Friday, a
So
Manager's
happy.
Friday. We'll set the menu for what we've got today, and don't forget that big announcement is less than an hour away. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, if they are interested in the Men and Woods Open, they should be listening at 7 o'clock this morning for all the details. That is coming up. Let's check traffic with Kelly Danick, and here we go until 10 o'clock on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
People are very worried that I'm going to be playing the harp all day. I'm not going to. It hurts my lip.
I was also worried.
I'm not going to.
Just going to be playing it the entire show. You seem so thrilled.
I'm so happy. You guys are so thoughtful. Thank you.
Getting your own harp.
Not even my birthday.
I'm gearing up today, Friday. Always, tired by the end of the week. Long schedule. We get up early in the morning. I'm going to the game tonight, though, so I am trying to make sure I save some energy. Probably will have to take an hour or so in the afternoon to recharge the batteries to get downtown tonight. Looking forward to it. I know there's going to be some Dodgers fans there, but I can handle that. I don't think I'm going to get into a big fist fight with anyone. Hopefully everyone has a good time, and hopefully the Padres can come away with a win. If they take today's game,
boy, you feel good.
You feel really, really good about what they were able to do already this week. We started the week going, yeah, we'll take 3-3. We all raised our hands. Would you take 3-3 at 3 at Wrigley Field and 3 at home against the Dodgers? And all of us said yes, absolutely. Just tread some water this week. Well, they're 2-1. Now is when you start wanting to get a little bit greedy and see if you can take another series against the Dodgers. This is their first visit to Petco Park this season. You split the 2 in Korea. You took 2 of 3 from the Dodgers last month at Dodger Stadium. Can you do it again and turn this into one of the most successful weeks of the season for your San Diego Padres? This one, go against Tyler Glass now. You're the underdog. I haven't looked at the odds, but I'm imagining the Padres are the underdog in this game. But, there's no reason you can't steal it. You had a chance against Shota Imanaga. You let that one get away. Could have stolen that one. Do the same thing tonight. Keep it close. Give yourself an opportunity. The Dodgers bullpen is a bit depleted. You mentioned it yesterday, I think, on the roundtable.
Yeah.
Evan Phillips is out.
Joe Kelly
is on the injured list as well. So, it's not that they don't have replacements. They do, but it's not running at full strength at the moment. So keep it close. Give yourself a chance to win a game late. I would love to see this Padres team. They've done a lot of things already that we didn't see last year's team. They got their 4-game winning streak. They've had some rallies from early deficits to win games. It's just been a different feeling. They're hitting much better with runners in scoring position. Have not seen a walk-off yet for your San Diego Padres. They have not won a game walk-off style in 2024, I believe.
I would like that very much.
And I would like to see that. Tonight, if possible, this weekend, at least at some point, you're due for one of those. I mean, even last year, as bad as it was, they had that early one when Ha-Sung Kim hit the walk-off home run. I think it was David Dahl and Ha-Sung Kim hit back-to-back.
April 8th or something.
Yeah, and then they didn't have another one for like 5.5 months.
Yeah.
But they have not done that this season. So how about tonight? You keep it close, tied, whatever, within a run somewhere in the last inning or two, and walk off the Dodgers and send everyone who made that drive all the way down to try to get into Petco Park, make them drive all the way back up, really unhappy after they see their team lose tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Michael King needs to keep the ball in the yard tonight, and I know
Mostly.
he needs to keep the ball in the yard. He's going to give up. They hit 4 bombs off him at Dodger Stadium.
I mean, if they hit a solo shot,
shot's
it's fine. 1, 2 at the most. But if you give up 3 homers and 2 of them have runners on base, you're going to lose.
Yeah, it's going to be rough. I mean, and again, we've said it before. If you can get through Mookie, whew, that feels good. Oh, then you got Freddie Freeman. Oh, got through him. Oh, and then here comes Shohei Ohtani. Then Will Smith. And then Max Muncy, who, again, Max Muncy is a noted Padres killer. I just feel like every time he steps to play, he maybe make me more nervous than anybody on that team. I just always feel like he's going to do damage against the Padres every time he sets foot in the box. So
true.
There's some. Teoscar Hernandez is having a monster year for them. Their lineup is deep. It is tough to get through. But listen, man, let the chips fall where they may. Our lineup's pretty good too.
Kiki in the chat says, I've got money. Ben can low-key throw hands. Kiki, that is the worst bet you've ever made.
Ooh,
Probably going to lose in that. Scratch fight. Slap scratch. Is it more of a slap scratch
I
combo?
rely simply on my intimidating size
Can I give
to
you a
stay
tip?
out of fights.
Can I give you a tip?
Yeah.
In case it ever happens.
Okay.
Ball your fist up like this, and then go down as far as you can go, and just use it like a club against the side of somebody's head. Now, you may kill them. Don't try to
No, I've never tried that.
just or on top.
I always
like this wail
with my brother when we get into fights.
Yeah.
My younger brother. I just try to end up sitting on him at some point.
That would be the best.
Because he was much smaller, and I'm not a fighter. He's faster. He's nimble. I just had size, not really strength or agility. But if I could get him under me, and he had no chance, just
use your weight.
Yeah, just fall on top of him, and then he's done.
Yeah.
So that's really my only strategy: get him to the ground, get on top of them, and sit on them.
Well, in the Street Fighters, I mean, you use your thumbs, gouge the eyes, do whatever you got to do, get nasty, and just use your fists, your big meaty fists as like.
I mean, who
clubs.
am I fighting tonight? Dave Roberts? Are we throwing down? Perhaps
we know that would never happen.
Seems unlikely, but.
Ben, you do a great job.
Yeah, I'm not taking any betting tips from Kiki. Okay. I got money. Ben can low-key throw hands.
Here's what we've got on the program today. We will preview the series, the entire series coming up here at 6:35 with the Dodgers coming to town. We already told you, big Ben and Woods Open golf announcement coming up at 7 o'clock. We'll also play Take on Woods, wrapping up our week of Carl's Jr. gift card giveaways, and see if someone else can beat Woods in our head-to-head musical trivia challenge. Don't do this. We already have some incredible audio from last night for Don't Do This that we're looking forward to playing at 7:20.
Sure do.
I was mad we had to even wait an hour and 20 minutes for that, honestly.
I know.
Guests on the program at 8 o'clock. It is a Cespedes Family Barbecue Friday. Jordan Shusterman is going to be with us to talk some baseball, presented by Grand Ole Barbecue. That is at 8 a.m. 8:35, we'll do an early Reindl Report to set the stage, of course, for a Friar Friday and our weekly Managers Report with Mike Shildt, who should be feeling fairly good after a good couple of series and coming in with some confidence, and he can be happy as he comes off an off day, a good off day, I would think.
Yeah, no doubt.
For the San Diego Padres.
Can't wait to catch up with him.
Wrap things up, get you to Annie and Elston, get us to our weekend coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. So that's what we've got on the menu for the program today.
I'm ready to eat, buddy.
You're ready to eat.
Yeah. You gave me the menu. I'm ready to eat. Let's eat.
Well, then let's take a time out, and we can just get right to it, get into some Padres talk. I want to review a couple of the things. If you missed or even if you caught the roundtable yesterday, had some interesting discussions, and I need to get your guys' opinion on whether or not Tony Gwynn Jr. likes me. I'm not sure if he does.
It's a fair question.
Thank you. It's coming up next.
Very fair.
On San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. just talking about the farmer's dog during the break and my dogs, and I've got in front of me the giveaway for Tuesday, the Joe Musgrove and Theo bobblehead. And I have to say, this may be the most detailed bobblehead I have ever seen. I mean, you look at Joe here, and just from top to bottom, he's got his last year giveaway bucket hat on. He's got his Joe Musgrove shades. He's holding his coffee from Cafe Adesso. He has his tattoos here on his left arm, shoulder. They are detailed right as well. He's wearing his Joe Musgrove basketball shirt giveaway. That's later this season, I believe. We haven't even seen that one yet.
We're going to look good in those.
He's got his dog, both him and Theo. Bobblehead. The only thing that's missing is like that big stack of pancakes he eats from Saquon. And that's about, like, everything else is included in this
really cool one.
Very cool and detailed Joe Musgrove bobblehead.
And as much as a bobblehead can look like somebody,
It looks
like a pretty good job.
Really good representation.
It does look like Joe. I mean, it's not like, oh, I don't know. No, it's definitely.
I can't tell. Is that Ha-Sung Kim or it's Joe Musgrove?
That's one that we definitely got to get into the collection at home. The kids will absolutely adore that one.
That is Tuesday. First 40,000 fans in attendance will receive the Joe Musgrove bobblehead with his dog Theo, presented by Petco. It's the second of 5 bobbleheads this year. If you're trying to collect them all, again, first 40,000. So plan to arrive early and go to Padres.com/giveaways to get more details on that one. But in terms of the bobbleheads, and I said yesterday during the roundtable, I'm not collector guy, but this one's pretty cool for sure if you are.
Yeah, I like that segment that you had, that you mixed in.
Yeah, let me quickly ask, because Paulie didn't get to chime in because he's not part of it. So the question for our 7th inning stretch during the roundtable is, what was your all-time favorite giveaway or promotion at a ballpark? Something that you got during the gates or something. This could be from your childhood, going to a Mariners game or something.
It was probably the first giveaway I ever got. I was probably, I think, 5 years old.
Little sweet Paulie, little 5-year-old Paulie.
I don't know if they did it everywhere or if this was just something at the Kingdom, is what I went to. They would just put the giveaways on the seats.
Yeah.
Instead of when you walked in.
And it was there for you.
And there were
I
just
remember that.
40,000 giveaways.
What a nightmare of a job.
I'm like, well, does somebody just go down a whole road?
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah. Anyways, walked up to our seats, and it was Ken Griffey Jr. bat night, but they gave out the full-size wood bat.
Smart.
It was my favorite thing ever.
Should do that tonight.
It was not like it was not a miniature bat. It wasn't a souvenir. I mean, it was a souvenir, but it was a wood bat. Like you could hit it, which I ended up doing because I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
Should
do switchblades tonight.
Manny Machado, Saquon Casino, brass knuckles.
Brass knuckles. Solid.
It's nowadays you get your prize as you walk through the gates usually. But I have noticed, like at NBA, like playoff games, you watch like the Thunder, and every section, like there's the white T-shirt section and the blue T-shirt section. They do that by putting shirts on the seats before the game. So when you arrive, you put on your shirt, and it looks really cool on TV when each section is like color coordinated and coded, and they do that by just having it set up. Maybe the Padres could do that sometime with some sort of shirt giveaway where it's by section, and you get a white one and a brown one, and like alternates throughout the entire Petco Park.
The Seals messed up when we had our first playoff game, which is a couple of Fridays ago. We had the rally towels, and so the place was going nuts, waving the towels. The next game we had, we gave away bucket hats, and. So I'm trying to get it was an easy way to get them around them. Wave those towels, and the place would go crazy. Playoffs, you got to give something that makes noise or that you can move around and it looks, the place goes nuts. It looks pretty cool. So, but yeah, you don't want to wave your bobbleheads around. You want to keep those.
What was your choice of the your favorite promotional item?
Oh, I loved the poncho. I
loved the poncho.
I
loved
the 97.3, the fan poncho.
Company man.
I'm also a company man. So,
Tony, who mentioned the helmets that had the little plastic insert that would I mean, it hurt those.
Well, if you took the plastic thing out and put it on, it was like 4 nails in the top of your head. It was a torture device. It was my buddy. We used to take them out because they wouldn't fit us.
Right.
And you bop your buddy on the head, and you're like, you're done. You're done. No, it was a fun roundtable yesterday. It really was, and it gets a little spirited in there. Paulie, please read that comment.
Okay,
from yesterday. So you're
watching. I
watching.
wanted to know what happened because I missed part of the roundtable yesterday. and somebody commented,
Who commented?
on.
Let's give them the credit they deserve.
I don't think I can say their name.
Woods is checking.
I don't want to say it wrong. You got it?
Oh, now he's his glasses, running over.
Oh.
There's an F and a K.
All right, now we can just...
Odomi 628.
And a U. Anyways, the comment is, Woods is such a pick-me girl, LOL. Why you gotta rag on Benny just to get a laugh out of Tony, SMH? That means shaking my head.
Right.
And then he writes under that, Tony's also got a weird little hatred towards Ben, which is kind of wild.
So we were having the discussion about, and we will have this discussion with the skipper, Mike Shildt. It's like, this is something we want to know about. We talked about it ad nauseum this week, taking Jerks and Profar out for a defensive replacement. His order, spot in the order came up. Jackson Merrill, very qualified hitter, as we know, but you want your hottest hitter, Jerks and Profar, taking those swings there. And you made the case.
I understand it's kind of splitting hairs, but if there's still a chance that Jerkson's going to get up, and you're only up by a run or two, is the advantage of the better defense. And I'm not sure how much better it is. I will acknowledge that Azócar at least is a better defender.
Tony said he
thought it was pretty a wider gap.
A wider gap than maybe we did.
But in the case of the game when Jackson Merrill went in, Azócar was already in. He moved over to left, and Merrill went into center. And while Merrill's done a great job and he's got speed, not an experienced defender, not as experienced as Jerks and Profar was. And I just thought, I don't understand this strategic decision. And
so why I went pick me girl is that Ben said, but you leave Manny in and you leave Fernando Tatis in. And I go, whoa. Of course you do. That's two of the best defenders. And you probably just picked two random names.
I picked two good offensive players.
Correct.
Like, you leave your offensive players in. You were absolutely correct that
they're amazing.
You would never take either of those guys out. I mean, even if for some reason they weren't in, you might put them in for defense at the end of the game just because they are such good defenders.
So I did, and I wasn't trying to impress Tony per se, but I did call Benny out for that in the video.
I feel like maybe Tony's just not used to the Ben Higgins experience, and there is a bit of eye rolling that comes along with just doing a show with me.
Never.
I understand. It happens from time to time. And Tony just seemed a little worn out by it. Maybe it was having to get up in the morning and be there, but I would make a comment, and I'd look over, and
he would give
Tony
him one of these.
Would kind of do the old lean back in his chair, or just kind of his eyes would kind of.
Let me ask you a question. Come get on the couch. Lay down. Yeah. Okay, just relax. I've done the same thing to you many times. I'll sit back in my chair, roll my head back, roll my eyes. Doesn't really seem to bother
Not
you.
at all. Yes.
Does it hurt? Hurts a little more from him.
Yes, of course.
You're not wrong.
It's not your fault.
You're not wrong at all.
Do I crave Tony Gwynn Jr.'s approval more than yours?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
100%.
Yes, I do.
Growing up, a Padres fan your entire life, who was your favorite player?
That would be Tony Gwynn Sr.
And it hurts real bad when Tony Gwynn Sr.'s son, Tony Gwynn Jr., may think that you don't know ball.
Exactly.
It stings like maybe to your core.
A little bit, yeah.
Maybe stings you more than anything else.
Just the look at like, why am I working with this idiot? Does hurt a little bit.
And
I'm never going to win that fight. He knows more ball than I do.
Oh, yeah, he knows more ball than all of us combined.
He's forgotten more about baseball than we'll
ever
know.
More ball than all of us have ever, But here's the interesting thing, and this is why I think you're okay. He rolls his eyes at Chris Ello. He rolls his eyes at Craig Elston.
Chris knows ball, played in college. He's as knowledgeable about the game as anyone that I know.
So he rolls his eyes at Craig Elston. He rolls his eyes at me. He rolls his eyes at Annie. He rolls his eyes at
Scravy, I'm sure, all the time.
Oh, my God, I'm sure.
Probably doesn't roll his eyes at Adam.
Sorry.
Probably never. Never, ever. I wonder if Adam...
I think Adam's scared of Tony, too.
I wonder if Adam also texts Tony Gwynn Jr. the proper bullpen usage of the San Diego Padres.
I bet not.
I wonder if he
Bet
does.
not.
Hey, Tony, would you have gone with Estrada there, or shouldn't he have gone with so-and-so?
Is it extra sweet because this is against the Dodgers?
So, no, he's so good to have on the round table because he's so smart. So I asked him, I grabbed him after. And yeah, that's a little bit pick me too, but I like talking hitting with him because why wouldn't you? And I straight up asked him, I said, what are you seeing from Xander? And he said, it's, in my opinion, he said, from, being around him, knowing him a little bit, he goes, it's mental. He's just 100. And we talked about the pitch the night before, the 3-1. He goes, that's the same thing I thought. You take that pitch right there, it means you're not right. It means you're not right. Your head's not right. You can't pull the trigger. And when you're worried about your swing and you're worried about your leg kick, he goes, you're not going to be successful. And I said, what does it take to get out of it? He goes, hitting rock bottom. And I go, is there worse he can do? He goes, yeah, because he got a couple knocks and you start to feel like, okay, maybe I'm coming out of it. But you kind of know in the back of your head that you're not. You kind of know, even if you luck into a couple of hits. He said, he'll get going, but he's going to have to hit the bottom.
There's getting a knock, and then there's a lock.
Yeah.
There's getting a knock and being like, oh, God, I was so lucky to get that knock.
We have to check traffic. Does this relate at all to the story that Yonder Alonso told on MLB Network yesterday about Tony Gwynn?
Yeah.
And the advice. I think it kind of does. I want to play that. Can we play that?
We can. We can do it. You want to do it for Do this?
We can wait, if you want, and do it for Do this.
Paulie needs to load it.
All right, well, we'll have Paulie load it up. We'll play it. But Yonder told a story basically about when he was feeling rock bottom early in his career, and Tony Gwynn, as a broadcaster, gave him a little bit of advice that you might think is a little strange for a great hitter to tell another Major League Baseball player.
I absolutely thought it was a weird story.
But let's play that and do this a little bit later. We're going to check traffic. We'll come back. Give you some of the matchups for the upcoming series against the Dodgers. Look ahead to tonight through Sunday. Coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
So far, pretty uneventful ride on our roads, guys, but no one's complaining. Yeah, everything looks great for you heading down from the North County. Out of the East County, we're not showing any slowing, just maybe some minor brake light activity out of Santee, West 52. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Paul actually found it, so we're going to get to it in just a second here. But, yesterday there was a lot of talk about Tony Gwynn. It was his 64th birthday, or would have been his 64th birthday. There were many segments on MLB Network about him. I was looking up this morning, and I saw Tony Jr. and Chris Gwynn. I had him on the phone yesterday, Chris Gwynn.
We had Andy Ashby's great story about him yesterday at the end of the show.
I replayed part of one of my favorite stories I ever did with Tony for Channel 10. It was right before he went into the Hall of Fame. We were doing a lot of special coverage in the week leading up to it, and we had gone through our tape archives, and finally I found the tape from July of 1982, the day Tony made his major league debut. And this was not like nowadays where every at-bat is on television and chronicled. That game wasn't on TV, but we had a photographer there who was just randomly shooting the game, and we had the video of his first major league hit. And Tony, I found out, had never seen his own first major league hit in his life.
So rad.
And on the week that he was headed to Cooperstown, I went to his office at San Diego State. We set up a television, brought it, I think it was on a VHS at that point, and popped it in. I said, all right, we're going to mic you up, put you on camera. I want you to react to seeing this for the first time. And you could see he got kind of emotional. He was watching it. And
dude.
It was Bob Dernier, was it? Dove and almost caught it, and it got just by him and ended up being a double. And you see him pulling to second, and the famous story, there's Pete Rose right there at second base as he's getting there. And the story goes that Pete said, don't catch me in one night, kid, as he hits second base. And you could see them obviously having a little interaction out there on second base. And Tony talked about the story and getting his first major league hit back in July of 1982. Was one of my favorite stories I ever got to do with Tony.
That is incredible.
So, all right. So yesterday they were talking about it on MLB Network, and Yonder Alonso, who was a Padre after Tony was done with his career, but he was still doing broadcasting for TV and did some radio as well. And Yonder was in a slump. I'll let him tell the story here, Paulie?
Yes. Here we go.
I'm a rookie. I'm first time going to that stadium. I'm 2 for 28. And at the time, he was doing the play-by-play. After the game, he's waiting for me in my locker, and he says, meet me tomorrow at 11 in the morning. We had another 7 o'clock game. 11 in the morning. Call my dad and tell him, hey, Tony wants to talk to me. He says, well, the only one that can fix your swing is Tony. So hopefully he's got something to say. I get there at 11 in the morning. He's already there with a bat and batting gloves, and he says to me, let's go to the dugout. I go to the dugout, I get dressed, I'm with my bat, my batting glove. He takes me to the home plate, and he says to me, nobody in this stadium today, 55,000 people, are going to know this. I need you to go again 0 for 4. What's the difference?
I need you to go 0 for 4
again. Nobody's going to know, but you're going to do it the right way. I'm tired of you hooking balls. I'm tired of you breaking bats. I'm tired of you striking out, not staying on the curveball or the changeup. I needed you to hit it first at bat, a ground ball to short, second at bat, a fly ball to left, and hopefully you can get blown up. And the reason I'm telling you
blown up?
Blown up. Blown up meaning jam, hit the ball as deep as possible.
He wants you to break your bat.
He wanted that. And the reason for it is he says, you've already wasted 24 at-bats doing it wrong. At least let's do it right to hopefully get you going for the later weeks that are ahead. And what he was trying to do was kind of calm me down a little bit, anxiety, bring it down a notch, and be able to enjoy myself, do it right. As my first at-bat, I hit a ground ball to short. I look up to the skybox, and he's waving his hands. He goes, yes, yes. And I'm so pumped because I just hit a ground ball to shortstop, and I'm so happy. I didn't get a hit, but I'm so happy I did what he wanted me to do. Next at bat, I hit a fly ball to left. He's going up like this. He's like, you're right on it. You're right on it. The next day and the next day, 3 for 4, 2 for 4. My rookie slump was over.
That's amazing.
Phenomenal.
So he got you away from being results focused.
Result focus.
All you wanted was a hit.
I was trying to do so much, getting traded from Adrian Gonzalez there. I wanted to hit 3 home runs and 1 at bat. And that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to tell me, it's a long season. That ain't going to happen. You need to hit the ball the other way. You need to do it right. And then you need to make some adjustments. That's the only way you're going to do it. If you're in the big leagues, you got to adjust pitch by pitch, not day by day. He would always tell me that.
That's so cool. And I came in this morning and I saw that, man. And I go, Benny, explain it to me. Like, what was your takeaway from that? And now hearing it again for the second time, I go, sense. It does make perfect sense. Like, you never want to celebrate an 0 for 4, but like you said, there's a right way to do it and a wrong way. So instead of thinking about anything else, the crowd in the stands, the fact that he got traded for Adrian, I'm not trying to hit a home run here. I'm just trying to hit a ground ball to shortstop. If that doesn't show you how mental that game is, and probably a little bit of what Xander's going through right now. I mean, it's
a great story after the fact. I do know that the way things work nowadays, if Xander ever came to the ballpark and told like the media before the game, he go around his locker and he goes, "Yeah, I'm just trying to go for 4 tonight.
Sure,
I just want to go the other way with it. Hit a couple of weak grounders to short." People would lose their minds. They go, "This is a real game. They're playing the Dodgers. You can't try to go 0 for 4."
How about Don Orsillo goes down to Xander and says, meet me tomorrow at 11 a.m. And he shows up, and there's Don with his bat and his batting gloves. And he tells him, you're doing it wrong, man. This is how you need to do it. I'll do you one better. Don Orsillo, hitting coach, San Diego
I don't know.
Padres.
If Don shows up, I want him just to have like a pan of sea bass ready for me.
On your locker?
Yeah, just ready.
Don, that's so nice. Don made me sea bass to get me out of my slump from Don Antangelo.
I was thinking about during that clip, though, I was thinking about it as far as like golf goes. And like, Woods, you and I are not good at golf.
No.
And we spray the ball all over the course. And I'm thinking, all right, if I'm in that mode and I just cannot hit the ball straight, but Ben was like, I want you to shank it right.
Right.
And I shanked it right. I'd be like,
yes, I did it.
Something. Like, I did it. I tried to do something and I did it. That would totally change how I was thinking about it.
That's the gist right there, man. What an unconventional thing to tell a player.
Super counterintuitive.
Correct.
Like,
but, man, that is so good. Such good stuff this morning.
All right, we'll get to the matchups of the series a little bit later. When we come back, though, speaking of golf, it is time to reveal the details for our 3rd annual-ish Ben & Woods Open. We will tell you what is what when we come back and then play a little Take on Woods as well. 1 hour in the books on a Friday. Ben & Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I think there's a perception that maybe Woods loves all the tier ones more than I do.
That's
which
true.
It's not true.
It's
And I'm
absolutely
about to prove that it's not true.
absolutely true.
It's not true. Welcome back, Ben and Woods. 7 o'clock hour here on 97.3 The Fan. And the reason why I know it's not true is Goat Hill Park is a special place for me. It's like my beloved golf course, my community where I play my tournaments with all my people. And this year, I am opening up my sacred place to all the tier ones for our Ben and Woods Open. That's how much I love the tier ones. That we're taking our tournament to Goat Hill Park, my special place. Why are you collapsing over in death? You don't think that this was a big moment for me?
So when we frequently tell the listeners that we don't plan something, we just kind of go into a segment, we figure it out, we'll wing it. This is one of those things that we didn't plan.
Yeah, I did not know that was coming.
That's the announcement.
If you like them so much, why don't you invite them over to your house?
This is more special than my house, and I've got more room at Goat Hill Park. So
Yes, we whittled it down to Goat Hill Park from a long list of one. And yes, it happens to be Goat Hill. We all love Goat Hill, but that is your special place.
it is.
Now, with that comes a lot more pressure for people to act right. You know, the tier ones out there.
Oh, yeah. You
Just know that Ben's going to be watching you out there.
Like a hawk.
Like a hawk.
So just want to let everybody know that the third annual Ish, the Chrome Tour third annual Ish Ben and Woods Open is coming to Goat Hill Park in Oceanside on June 19th. We've got a date. We got the course reserved. We've got some good plans for everybody to have a really good time. If you have played in either of our first two tournaments, hopefully you will be back, and hopefully you enjoyed yourself the first couple of times around. We're doing a pair of flights. Again, Goat Hill Park is a little bit smaller of a venue than previous, so we have two flights, one in the morning at 8 a.m. and one at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Shotgun starts with four-person scrambles. You can either sign up individually, a couple of people together, or just get a whole foursome when you sign up to play with your friends. We'll have prizes. We're going to have food, drinks, special features on the course, and we are once again going to be doing it for charity. And this time, since John Ashworth and Goat Hill Park are going to be hosting it, the North County Junior Golf Program is near and dear to his heart. It is based out of Goat Hill Park now.
What do they do?
So they are the organization that basically promotes golf for kids in North San Diego County and puts on tournaments and sets it up with all the courses. I grew up going through the North County Junior Golf Program, playing all summer long in different tournaments. It got me into a love of the game that has lasted, obviously, my entire lifetime. And they just want to get more kids into the sport and help grow it. And, it also helps build character as well. They've got some great programs at Goat Hill, including their caddy program, an academy, a leadership academy that it ends up there's some college scholarships that go along with it as well. So we're going to be supporting that cause. But mostly we're out there and we want the tier ones to have a good time. And join us if they can. It's a Wednesday. It's June 19th. And, if you have to take the day off, I know some people already have the day off. It's a holiday now. And I think in California, even a federal holiday now as well. So hopefully you have a chance to get away either in the morning or the afternoon and join us for the Ben and Woods Open this year.
Yeah, can't wait. We're not even playing this year. We just want to be hanging out with you guys and riding around. And, Ben is going to have a special hole there. We're going to call it Ben Higgins Glory Hole. And there is where you find your glory.
There it was.
Yep.
Glory hole.
The hole number 9.
I think so, yeah.
You'll be doing some closest to the pin stuff there.
Beat the non-pro, essentially.
Yeah, beat the non-pro and get the glory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Callaway's got some great prizes and giveaways. We've got food, as I said, beverages. So please, if you'd like to join us, Paulie is going to put the link out on our social media channels.
It is out.
It is out.
It's on X. It's
and
on
you can start
Instagram.
signing up.
It's on Facebook.
Okay.
If you don't, it's on the YouTube chat now. I'll put it in the link of the YouTube video.
Get your asses in there and sign up, please.
If you want to just go to Instagram or find our account, hit the link in the bio. It's got our link tree, and the Ben and Woods Open is right there at the top.
Yeah, and a couple buddies text me, "Hey, I don't play golf, but I'd love to hang out with you guys. Come on down. You don't have to buy a ticket for that. You can just come out and hang out and It's a really cool place. It's very low key. It's not your typical golf course. You don't have to tuck your shirt in. You don't even have to wear a shirt, really. I'd like you to.
But T-shirts are fine.
T-shirts are fine.
Yeah.
Shorts are fine. Whatever you want. Flip-flops. It's very low key and loose, and we're going to have a lot of fun that day.
Just respect the course, and
Yeah.
we'll have no problem.
Respect the course.
You play music. Everyone's playing music out there.
Yeah.
It's not Bushwood Country Club. It's not stodgy at all.
No,
Reindl Park.
it's the opposite of that, and it's a really special day for us. So honestly, man, like we were going to play, and then let's just hang out. Let's just hang out and be with everyone. Of course, you're going to be working the glory hole all day.
Yes, but that's right. But they have the fire pit there. I mean,
There it was. Glory hole.
if you aren't a golfer but want to stop by, you certainly can do that and just hang out
Come on down. We'll have
by the
food.
clubhouse and see us. And it should be a good time had by all. This is we've scaled it down a little bit. Obviously, we're kind of doing it ourselves this year, and
DIY, baby.
Yeah, we appreciate them allowing us to do this, and hopefully, if it goes well, we will continue into the future. But this is a bit of an experiment for us.
Excited about it, man.
We're just we're not doing it to try to make any money ourselves. We if it's too much for you to cost, it's I think $170 per person.
Yep.
That includes the golf, the cart, the prizes, the food, the beverage. And covering the course costs, and hopefully we'll have some left over enough to give to the charitable element as well. We just don't want to necessarily come up a few thousand short or anything. So
Yeah, correct.
Hopefully, if it's for you, we would love to see you out there. So
No doubt.
looking forward to it. June 19th, a little over a month away. The Ben & Woods Open, 3rd annual ish, and we say ish because the
We
first
missed a
one we
year.
didn't like November, and then we skipped all the way through a year, and then did one in April. And now we're doing it in June. So you can't really say you're doing something annually when you go November, not at all, April, and June.
Yeah,
but
annual-ish.
It's the 3rd annual-ish Ben & Woods Open.
So yeah, go sign up, please. Looking forward to hanging out with all of you guys. And if you don't golf and want to come hang out, please do that as well.
Speaking of prizes, we've got Take on Woods coming up here in a couple of minutes. Need a contestant to get on the line. Win that Carl's Jr. gift card, $25 gift card here at the end of the week. 833-288-0973 for a musical trivia game. 833-288-0973. Speaking of golf, I watched a little bit. Xander Schauffele.
Please explain what happened to him yesterday.
So I saw the highlight of the ball he blasted way to the right by like the fence, and I guess he got a favorable kick and a ruling and was able to save his round. It could have been like an easy double bogey that he was over there.
People were mad.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, they have rules officials. It's not like you and me arguing about should I get a drop here or not in a friendly round. There's a PGA Tour official who's going to make the call. And you may not agree with the call or disagree with the call, but Xander has to live by whatever they say. They gave him the favorable ruling where he got the drop, and he was able to save his hole. Shot a 7 under 64. He's got a 3-shot lead in the Wells Fargo Championship, which is one of those elevated events. It's the week before the PGA Championship. Got Rory McIlroy on his heels, Colin Morikawa. But Xander is... even though he's still ranked number 4 in the world, he's an unbelievable player. He has not won in almost 2 years.
I know, man. He's
It's
got to win
like
more,
summer
man.
of 2022, the Scottish Open's the last time he actually won a PGA Tour event. So he's kind of been in the. I mean, he finishes top 10 all the time.
He's in the chamber, though,
Never
man.
in the winner's circle. It's
That's
got to be
right.
very frustrating to be one of the elite golfers of the world, one of the best in your field, and never get to win.
No doubt.
So, he's got a nice little cushion here, 3-shot. Now, 3 rounds to go. A lot can happen, but playing well, heading into the second major of the year. Looking forward to Xander Schauffele hopefully getting off the schneid after a couple of years this week.
Well, I mean, he's an Aztec for life.
Yep.
Speaking of Aztecs for life, one of our most beloved Tier 1s, Caitlin, is graduating SDSU today. She DM'd me last night, and I said, yeah, I'd be happy to wish you a happy... I mean, I'd actually, Caitlin, if I were you, I'd just stay in college. I did it 7-8 years as a blast. Get out into the real world, and it's not so much fun anyway. It's like I tell my 6-year-old, don't try to grow up so fast, kid. It's really fun. You get people wiping your own butt for you.
Lots of people go to college for 7 years.
Yes, doctors, right? But Caitlin, congratulations to you. It's quite an achievement. It is.
You didn't get your PhD or
I did not.
MD, though, in your
No,
7
I
years.
think
No.
I did not get any advanced degree. Just your old simple Bachelor of Arts in English, and I was happy with that. But it took a minute. So congratulations,
Congratulations,
Caitlin. We love you.
Caitlin. Yeah, I think they're having the big graduation ceremony. What do you remember from your SDSU graduation, Paulie?
Sorry,
Who was
what
the
was
speaker at your SDSU graduation?
Carl Weathers. Rest in peace.
No, I don't.
I would just have him every
Don't
year.
remember who was the speaker? Where was it? Was it a Viejas? Or
Yeah,
was it,
it's always a Viejas.
Yeah.
I think, or sometimes they go to Petco Park now.
Oh, really?
I don't know if
Oh,
they
that's
still
cool.
A lot
do.
of they have.
But I think it's
they have
always
so
been-
many students now.
A lot at Viejas.
I mean, you have like
different
separate
schools do different,
Yeah, different department schools have their
departments
own
of the
graduation,
school.
and there's one sometimes big one for the entire class.
I don't know where USD has theirs. Is it at their football stadium?
No idea. I didn't walk in mine.
You didn't?
No, I left. I left. Not walking.
See, now I went to a much smaller college. We
Yeah.
only had a graduating class of about 400.
It took
so
15
felt like a
minutes.
high school graduation. It was very, very simple, pretty efficient.
My high school class was just over 200 people. Tiny.
Tiny.
660 in my graduating class in high school.
Shelley, my wife's high school class was like 14 people. It was a little tiny town in Washington.
Jeez.
Almost, I mean, that's almost ridiculously small. All right, I see some people calling in. Let's get to today's game. It's time to take on Woods. Take on One Woods, brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes, and you don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. I see Robert calling in today. Hello, Robert.
Hello, Robert.
This Robert?
Yes.
No, sorry. Different Robert. No, yes, this Robert.
Oh.
How you doing, Robert?
Yes.
You are
I
in.
didn't know you knew my name. That's fantastic. I'm doing well. How are you?
Yeah, we've got
Caller ID is a
caller
hell of
ID
a thing.
is. I mean, would you like me to call you Bob or Rob? I mean,
Well, my mom still calls me Robbie, but I'll go with Robert.
All right, Robert, you are in. You are playing for this week's final $25 gift card to Carl's Jr. The El Diablo Burger is back at Carl's Jr. for, no, not a limited time, for eternity, with a potato bun, charbroiled beef, a spicy habanero sauce, bacon, jalapeno popper bites, pepper jack cheese, and jalapenos. Try it now. Here are your categories. We've got Double Trouble. Those are 5 bands with double words in their name. A View to a Killer. All of those questions and answers revolve around the word killer. And our new category is Clean as a Whistle. You might remember earlier in this week us whistling songs. These are all songs that feature a signature part with a whistle, and we'll give you that signature part. You're going to have to identify the song in all 5 of those. So Double Trouble, A View to a Killer, or Clean as a Whistle. Robert, what would you like to play?
Ooh, I think I will try Clean as a
Oh, all right.
I like
Again, it's an all 2-second song category, but this time every song features a signature part that is whistled, and that's the part you're going to hear. Paulie has broken them all down, so you'll have 60 seconds to get as many of the 5 as possible. Don't forget, Robert, though, to score the point, you need to give me both the song title and the artist to get the full point there. So, are you ready to play?
I am ready.
All right, the
Come on,
category
Robbie.
Clean as a Whistle. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paul plays our first song. Good luck, Robert. Let's take on Woods.
Don't worry, be happy, Bobby McFerrin.
Correct. Song number 2.
Centerfold, John or Jay Giles Band.
Correct. Song number 3.
Ooh, pass.
Song number 4.
Is that Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding?
That is. Good.
Yeah.
Song number 5. Very good.
Never heard of it.
All right,
Pass.
getting a little tougher. Go back to number 3. See if we can.
I feel like Foster the People.
Yep.
What's the song?
But
Oh!
Close. Robert, you did well. You got 3. 3.5 there. You got the older ones. The newer ones a little bit gave you trouble. Not that Foster the People's new anymore, but don't worry, be happy. Bobby McFerrin, Centerfold, Jay Giles Band. Pumped Up Kicks is the song title by Foster the People. Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding, and Tighten Up by the Black Keys was the last one. See how Woods does. Let's bring him in. Hang on the line, Robert. We'll see if your score holds up. Tie is always good here.
The hell? I saw you clapping in here. What the hell's
Fun.
going on?
Well, it's a fun category. You're going to realize it right away because it was something we were talking about this week. All 2-second songs again. So you need the title and the artist to score the point. 60 seconds on the clock, Woods. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Robert.
Don't Worry, Be Happy by Bobby McFerrin.
Correct. Song number 2.
Oh, that's Centerfold by Jay Giles. Band.
Correct. Song number 3.
Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People.
Correct. Song number 4.
That's Sitting on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding.
Correct. Song number 5.
That is the Black Keys, Tighten Up.
Oh! Wow. A perfect 5 for 5. And by a 5-3 score, Woods takes down Robert today. Robert, well played. You can try again later this month. I think we're going to have a new Vegas prize next week. But Woods finishes the week on a strong note and clean as a whistle.
Love it. Absolutely fantastic.
The crazy thing was...
You know what? I'm in a good mood. Robert, hang on the line. We'll get you the 25.
Give
like
that
that.
to the
I
last
like
one.
that. He did well.
Last one.
He did well.
Big weekend for the Padres.
All
We
right.
need good
Take it
vibes.
Good karma.
Yeah, we do.
Good
we do.
vibes.
Nothing says good karma like Carl's Jr.
The irony is, what was the song we were whistling?
It was Winds of Change.
Well, yeah. So the irony is, I already had that category
Shut
in
your
the
mouth.
in the
No, you
chamber
didn't.
when we were doing that,
There's
but it didn't
no way.
include Winds of Change, which I was going, why didn't I have Winds of Change in there? But
There is no way.
I did. I had-
what was it called? Whistling Dixie?
Clean as the whistle.
whistle. That is fantastic. Fantastic. What a great category
and
that was.
speaking of fantastic, the audio we've got for you on Don't Do This from last night's post-game NBA news conference. Never heard this one before. That's for sure.
Well, it's happened.
Well, not in this context.
I've heard it.
at least.
This has happened before.
Just not in that setting.
Just gotta be.
I've heard it.
Got to be very careful.
It's coming up next after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Go to break? Yeah. That's pretty good. Okay. Yeah.
Don't Do This is brought to you by the Craft Taco in Sereno Valley. Craft Taco is some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. Go to thecrafttaco.com. Take a look at their happy hour specials today. That'd be great for a Friday. Go to thecrafttaco.com.
Delicious.
All right, before we get to the audio, just an update since we haven't really covered it this week. Rashee Rice has been
stay hot, buddy.
A real strong Don't Do This all-star candidate this offseason. He's involved in the 6-car crash in Dallas in March that left 7 people injured. Like, both of them were his cars. He was driving one of them. He fled from the scene. He's facing charges there. Now, this week, I saw the story earlier in the week, but we got some details yesterday. So he's a suspect in an alleged assault that injured a man at a Dallas nightclub. Now, reports are from the Dallas Morning News that officers were dispatched here in Dallas early Monday morning. A man was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, including swelling on one side of his face. Apparently, they're saying Rashee Rice slugged a photographer that was there. That's part of the, at least, accusations that are being flown. Again, when you're already in a giant spotlight for messing up, and your lawyer has already admitted you have messed up. I mean, they've said, this was on him.
He almost killed himself. He almost killed a bunch of people.
He has admitted doing it. He's now going to face the music on that.
You dodged a bullet, and the bullet being that you didn't die and you didn't kill anyone else. So you dodged that bullet. You'd think, all right, I got to dial it in a little bit. Got to dial it in.
Lay low at least.
Lay low.
Stay home for a while.
Yeah.
And no, right back in the news.
Right back out
and,
there.
Everything's in front of him. He just had his rookie season, was important, key. Should only be getting better. He's got Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback. He's won a Super Bowl. He's got the world as his oyster, right there in front of him. And he is threatening to throw it all the way in just one offseason.
Yeah, like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing, man? So,
wow.
Yeah, dude, stay home. Don't punch people. And what do they always say? Bad things happen after midnight. Just get your ass home, sit there.
Early Monday morning, too.
Monday morning.
Yeah.
Well, this will go down in the Don't Do This Hall of Fame, certainly. Luka Doncic and the Mavericks battled back last night. Luka had a monster game and was able to beat the Timberwolves to even the series at 1-1. Great story. So he goes up to the table in his post-game presser, and somebody's going to ask him a question. I'll just play you the audio. I'll let it speak.
Thunder beat the Thunder.
I'm sorry, the Thunder. Yeah. What did I say? The Timberwolves?
That's
sorry,
okay. They
the
play
Thunder.
tonight.
This is what happened in the press room.
We were open shot, so just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think? It's okay.
Puts his head down.
Moving on.
So he's sitting at like a table with a microphone. There's reporters, chairs.
Yeah, rows deep.
I assume it's just one of those kind of medium little sized rooms. Mm-hmm. Where was that sound? Could you hear the sound over your radios out there?
Just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think?
You can hear that. Somebody was asking a question, and in a couple rows behind them,
what happened?
Somebody opened their phone, and they had closed their phone. They were watching
this.
Yes. They were.
You don't think there was an adjacent room where something was?
No.
Was going down?
No. That is a clear example of somebody forgetting to close the tab.
Well, that's a Don't Do This
on their phone, opening up their phone to maybe get to their list of questions, and I forgot to X out of X videos
or turn the volume down.
Turn the volume down. I had Corn Tub open and I left it open, and here's the. You know how sometimes your phone does have a bit of a life of its own? It happens to us on the air. You'll be bloviating about something, and I'll open my phone and Instagram's on. It's like, hey, did you see the new TikTok?
I have to remember to turn the volume down on my laptop every morning. Because a pop-up ad will come up, and then I'll hear it, and you'll hear it over the microphone.
Corn Tub.
Hopefully not on this work computer
just
that
how
I
about
use.
one more time? One more.
We were open shot, so just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think? Okay.
This is the best press conference ever.
So
someone's really enjoying good press
going
conference.
to more press conferences.
I can't imagine the panic
the fear. Like, you have to leave, right?
I think you
turn in
play
your credential.
No, I think you play it off like, wasn't me.
Looking around.
Who the hell was that? Somebody, hey, what are we doing here? It was. And Luca found it very hard to hide his laughter. He put his head down and was like, oh my God. So, yeah. Somebody left their phone. It's just not something that it can happen to everybody. Just mind your P's and Q's, okay?
I got a do this for the same game. Actually,
D mega do.
Well, there is a do this, but it's more of a question for you two. So at the game, they had the old promotion where a Thunder fan came down, hit a half-court shot, win $20,000.
Yeah.
Guy nailed it. Everybody went nuts. But, of course, the Thunder ended up losing the game. Not that one has to do with the other. But my question to both of you, you're going to a playoff game for your favorite team. Would you rather, A, win $20,000 at said game and have your team lose, or B, not win any money, but your team wins the game?
Team wins the game.
Really?
Yeah.
$20,000.
$20,000. I think. All right, let's make it personal. Game 7 of the World Series.
No brainer.
Padres.
That changes everything.
Then is that change the equation? Would you
Yes.
rather win $20,000 or see your team win the game?
No.
You give up. It's not like you're paying
Yeah, you don't have to-
$20,000.
it's not out of your
it's just
pocket.
It's just you didn't win the $20,000 that you would have won otherwise.
I will say, if you asked me to pay, I would figure out a way.
You would
Guaranteed.
pay.
Yeah,
You would
guaranteed.
pay to guarantee.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I mean, that's a weird, like, that guy's pretty stoked. He won that
Of
20
course.
grand.
And he didn't have to make that choice.
and
They didn't
there's
say,
no choice, but
"Hey,
I'll-
you take this, we lose the game. They
But,
don't. No,
but also, like, there's still time in that series.
Yes,
you know
there
what I
is.
mean?
They're still
So,
favored in
they're
that
still
series.
favored in that series.
Stub their toe. They
Yeah.
probably will still win the series. That's what I'd be thinking this game, too.
It begs the.
I think I'll still win. I'll take the 20 grand.
It does beg the question of emotional insurance. You know, when you bet against your team, which I don't really like doing. You bet
Really?
against. I don't. I do not like.
But you
betting.
do it anyway.
I
You don't
have.
like doing it.
No, but
you
I have.
do it.
Yeah, but it's one of those deals when you lose, you're like, it's the best $100 I've ever lost. I do it with the Irish a lot. The Irish, I'll bet against the Irish, and there's always these big spreads, and I'm like, have you watched Notre Dame play? So I'll bet, I'll take the points in the other team, and then if the Irish win, I'm like, all right, it's worth $100. And if they lose, I'm like, all right, it sucks they lost, but at least I won.
Speaking of spreads, quickly, usually bookmakers pretty good at the odds. So in the other game last night,
Oh my God, I saw
the
this.
Celtics were favored by 23 points.
I saw 24.
24. It ended up being
Oh.
a 24-point game. They were absolutely right. Except it was the Cavs who won by 24.
That's
It was
unreal.
the biggest win for a double-digit underdog in like 40 years in the NBA playoffs or something like that. They were underdogs by 24, and they won by 24 points.
That is unbelievable.
They don't get it wrong that often.
That's not
in
even
Vegas.
wrong. That's not. We missed by a couple here and there.
Celtics just decided, you know what, we don't need to win this one.
Bananas.
And the Cavs were unbelievably hot. You could see the Celtics in the second half just go, yeah, we're not winning this one. Let's save our energy for Game 3 when we go back on.
Unbelievable.
That is Don't and Do This for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Paulie, what were you doing over there?
Are you sure you weren't at the press conference, Ben?
Here in Dallas?
Out of the three of us.
I could have been, since I am here in Dallas.
And you love
Actually,
basketball.
I think it was in Oklahoma City, actually.
Out of the three of us, though, anybody that's going to be at a press conference, it's most likely
Usually.
going to be you.
Usually.
I don't know. I was listening back to that audio again, and I
thought
thought
you
I
heard me?
heard you.
We were open shots, so just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think?
I've never been more disgusted in my whole. Did you hit your face with the mic? Oh my God, are you okay? Is that a lip or a tooth?
There's a tooth. I was laughing.
Oh my!
It just hit my face on the microphone.
Please pull that video. I have to see this live.
Just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think?
Those are laughter noises.
I'm creeped
Those are my
out.
Those are my laughing noises.
Oh my God! Yeah, that was Ben's laughter.
I I don't know that anything we play grosses me out as much as that.
Just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think?
I need a shower right now. I just started to pour sweat, dude. Oh, I can't believe you chipped your tooth on the mic. What if you have a dead tooth now? Oh, boy. How do we top that? This is one of those moments where you should be like, we're done for the day. We'll see you Monday.
I actually think we might because we have a tier.
Just our sharing the ball and our energy was great.
What do you think?
That's a Hall of Famer right there.
In what is a perfect segue, in our next segment, we are going to be joined by Tier 1 Kevin, who heard a Reindl Report story the other day and said, I must share with you.
It's one of those things. He listens like a couple days behind. He DM'd us yesterday on the Ben and Woods account. He goes, can I please call in? And I read why he was calling, and I go, you better.
It's unbelievable.
Remember the all-nude cruise?
The nude cruise.
Well, Kevin has, he's been on one.
It's not just nude either.
Correct.
That's coming up next on a Friday. A fun Friday and a Friar Friday on San Diego's #1 sports station and other things that start with S. 93.7, 97.3 The Fan.
Or 93.
Either I'm off. Yeah.
It's fine.
Do we have any tier 1 dentists out there who can check on Woods and my
Yeah,
teeth?
forgot I chipped mine earlier playing the harp this morning.
And I hit mine on the microphone in our last segment, convulsing with laughter again. There we go.
I'm getting better. Getting much better.
You are.
Like the Eddie Van Halen of the harp.
A little low there. There you go. All right, we're all set. Don't forget, we got our sign-ups out for the Ben and Woods Open, 3rd annual-ish. Would love to see you out at Goat Hill Park on June 19th. We're going to check traffic, and when we come back, we're going to revisit a story from the Reindl Report earlier this week about a nude cruise and a real-life experience from a Tier 1 on something similar. That's coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Got a few problems here. One of them's a stalled truck blocking the right lane on the Coronado Bridge heading over to the island. This is just past the 5. Also, a collision on westbound King Freeway before 25th Street, not showing if lanes are blocked. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a car fire northbound 5 before Pacific Highway. It's over to the right shoulder. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So we all decided earlier this week when Paulie told us the story that you can, if you so desire, if it is one of your lifestyle choices, that you can now sign up to go on a all nude cruise of the Caribbean. Wasn't it? It was the Caribbean, right, Paulie? I think it was.
Does it really matter?
Yes.
Well, I
Matter
want it to
where
be
it is?
somewhere warm. Yeah, I don't want to go on the Alaskan all-nude cruise for sure.
It doesn't really matter.
It does.
All-nude
If
cruise.
it's, 45 degrees out on the boat, it's not a great spot to be nude. It's much better to be all nude in a nice warm climate.
Let's just keep your clothes on a cruise.
That's
How about
fine,
that?
too.
Yeah.
Now, there were some rules, like at the buffet, you had to wear your clothes.
Yes.
At the captain's address, you had to wear your clothes. So,
Yes.
but otherwise, it was, be free, be yourself.
Yeah, do your thing.
On your all-nude cruise.
Let it all hang out.
Literally.
So do we want to read any of the message that we received or just go right to Tier 1 Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, I got yesterday, I was answering DMs on Ben and Woods, and I can't find it, so just put him on.
Kevin,
Kevin,
welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How's it going this morning?
It's going good, man. So what, you were a day or so behind. You heard the story of the all-nude cruise, and you DM'd me yesterday and said, I got to call in. You basically, tell everybody what happened with you.
Okay, so let me preface this by saying that I did not seek out said nude cruise. I have the good fortune of playing in a band that we travel all around the country, and occasionally we do cruises. So our agent says, they got this cruise coming up, but it's a swingers cruise. So I don't know if you guys would be into that.
Oh.
And we're like, yeah, sure, let's give it a shot. Why not?
A gig is a gig. Yeah, a gig is a gig.
Well, you don't have to participate, obviously. You're just there to play music and be one of the staffers on the cruise, essentially.
Yeah. Well, so we were the headline act. So we did 2 shows. One night we did a rock show, and then the second night we did a Bon Jovi tribute. But,
yes.
So we get about a mile out to sea, and they say, well, in another 2 miles, clothing is optional for the duration of the trip. And we're like, okay, all right.
So you knew it was
this is not weird.
You knew it was a swingers cruise, but you also you thought, hey, you guys are going to do this in the privacy of your own
Stateroom.
suites and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Not just you could take your clothes off willy-nilly.
Yes, and so we're on the top of the deck. We get 3 miles out. I'm standing with the rest of the band, and then things just go haywire. And so the first night we played cool because nobody knows who we are because we hadn't performed yet. The second night we played our first show, and all of a sudden everybody knows the band. So people are coming up to us. Specifically, one guy went by BDB, Big D Bobby.
Big D Bobby,
and
of course.
Big D Bobby, yes, and he bought us all drinks. And his girlfriend was in a wheelchair, and we were all feeling bad for her. This poor girl's in a wheelchair for this cruise. And she started talking to us, and she had a sex-related injury the first night with BDB, and that's why she was in a wheelchair.
I mean, the guy, it's in, it's in the name. I mean, you don't call
It's in the
yourself that
name.
unless
No.
you can injure somebody and put them in a wheelchair. Holy smokes.
So I'm curious. So were you? I'd assume you remained clothed, in public areas during the cruise, or did you just decide, hey, when in Rome, we've got to join in, or it's going to be weird if we're in our clothes and everybody else is not?
That is a great question. I did remain clothed in all public areas.
How
but we do
awkward
have a
is that when
member-
you're clothed, though, and everyone else is not?
You know what? These people were so cool. They were just like the nicest, most receptive people.
They'd have to be.
Loved the show. Yeah, of course.
Right?
Like a ton of fun. Loved the show. But we do have one member in our band that's a little hippy-dippy, likes to kind of dip her toes in the water. And she was up there doing naked yoga on the deck.
What's
And
the name of your band again? Okay. Check you guys out.
Be very careful to not mention the name of the band nor the cruise line. But I will tell you guys that it was a major cruise line, but there's what they call a lifestyles organization that books out on this cruise line, and then they just have these sex cruises. There were like seminars on how to do certain sexual activities.
Right.
There were
good
quote unquote
Yeah.
playrooms. Yes, of course.
Playrooms.
There were playrooms.
What happens in there?
So imagine like 50 beds, all lights are out, and you can walk through this because part of the thing is some of these guys, they like to be watched. So us as the band is kind of walking through this, and people are just going to town on all these beds, and you're seeing it all.
That is
So hang on. You walk into a big, like a ballroom or whatever, and there's just 50 mattresses in there.
50 mattresses, satin sheet kind of like covers around the bed, yes, and just going to town. But the funniest part is we just got done playing our second show. It was the Bon Jovi show. And they were like, okay, let's just go walk through the playroom. And this is the cruise director was the one encouraging us to do all this.
Of course.
He's like, just go walk through the playroom. You know, it'll be a good experience for you guys.
Totally.
We're walking through, and there's a couple performing a sexual act, and the woman looks up and goes, "Hey guys, the band is here. Check it out. It's Bon Jovi."
Oh my god!
And
Oh my god!
And he goes right back into
Right.
whatever. she
Ah,
was
they're
doing.
here. The band is here. No wonder they went on strike.
Yeah.
How long total?
A great experience.
How long total were you out at sea?
5 very long nights.
I don't even know the money. I'm assuming the money was pretty good.
The money was fantastic.
That's good.
But you know, we've done cruises before, and it's like you have to be super by the book.
Yeah.
And you know, watch your P's and Q's.
Not
and
that
then
one.
this one, the cruise director comes up. He's like, "Hey, you guys just do whatever the heck you want to. Just have a ball."
Well, watch your P's and Q's, also your T's and A's.
This guy was so proud. I could see it land in his head.
100%.
Oh, dude, what a great
Kevin,
call!
thank you for sharing that story
was
with
amazing.
us. My takeaway is, though, as he said, everybody's super nice and
Yeah,
kind.
cool.
And I mean, you'd have to be. If you
You
were
would have
naked
to
all
be.
the time, you can't also be a giant jerk to everyone and just constantly be complaining and
Yeah.
criticizing while you're in the nude.
You're nude. You
Yeah.
can't yell at me. How about Big Bobby, by the way? Oh, ma'am, are you okay? Yeah, he put me in a wheelchair last night.
That's something out of a comedic movie.
100%. Oh gosh, are you fine? Nah, I mean, look who I'm with. Well, I guess it stands to reason. I loved every second of that story, and that the room though is what I'll be thinking about.
I would
for the
not have
rest.
gone into that room.
So
even though I was invited by the cruise director himself or herself.
All right, let me ask you this: you wouldn't want to at least just see it
I think
once.
if you're on the cruise,
if
you
you're
have
there,
to.
you got 5 nights there.
You've already seen stuff you don't want to see.
Now you know I'd force him to go in that
Right.
room with me. I'm like, we're doing a walk.
pick
we
him
can
up by his
we
arms
can
and
link
his legs.
arms.
When they invite Ben and Woods to do shows on the cruise, and we're doing our show in the morning, and then they invite us to check out the cruise, you'd make me go into the playroom. Just the idea of just 50 beds just lined up all next to each
Like a
other is
barracks.
just
a barracks with satin sheets though on the bed. I mean, you have to see it. You have your morbid curiosity would take over, you'd have to walk through there, and you're like, oh, this is really, really something.
I don't even think I'd think twice about it, at least walking
one
through
time,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the problem would be is if, Paulie, where's Ben? We got to start the show. Oh, no. He's in the room again. He's in the room again. Ben, are you in
check the playroom?
Did you check the playroom? Yeah, you'd be afraid you'd lose somebody to that. But Kevin, thank you so much for that. I loved every second of that. That's best of right there, buddy. You'll be hearing that again down the road. That was amazing.
This is what happens, Padres, when you take a day off.
Yeah.
We could have been talking about yesterday's game for the last 2 hours.
Yeah, enjoy your day off, guys.
Breaking down, inning by inning, Mike Shilt's bullpen decisions again. But instead, they decided, you know what, we don't need to play on a Thursday. Let's all take a day off.
Yeah.
And leave Ben and Woods to talk about sex cruises and weird noises at press conferences. Yeah. And I get it. This has been probably our most adult show maybe that we've ever done so far.
Hey, listen,
toeing the line today.
All we do is just present the news that is in front of us. That's it. So, sorry about it. Not really.
No. All right, we got a big second half of our program coming up.
Give us some baseball.
We actually will talk some baseball for the diehard, the purists, the people who are shaking their heads at this moment. Jordan Shusterman from Cespedes Family Barbecue is going to join us at 8 o'clock. For our weekly conversation about what's going on in the Grand Ole game, brought to you by Grand Ole Barbecue. And then at 9 o'clock on a Friday, we will chat with the skipper, Mike Shildt, back home to open a 6-game homestand against the Dodgers and the Rockies. Next 10 games are pretty important. I said this week 3-3, and I think I heard Craig and Annie talking about it yesterday. Next 10, 5-5 is a great goal with 4 against the Braves after this 6-game homestand against the Dodgers and the Rockies. Obviously, you'd like to get hopefully all of them against the Rockies. You already biffed 2 of them up in Colorado. You can't keep losing to the Rockies, but at that point, just make sure that you take a couple of those other games, go at least 5-5, maybe even 6-4, have a winning week, and you're making good progress. It's slow, but you're also eating and churning away some of these games against the tougher teams in the National League. More than half of your games against the Dodgers, all your games against the Cubs, more than half of your games against the Braves, half of your games against the Brewers. Those will all be done in the next 10 days. And you will, while the schedule doesn't get easy, you will have some of the hardest games behind you already 2 months into the year.
Stick around. Just hang around. That's it. That's all you got to do right now. I mean, I'd love more. I would absolutely love more, Benny. I don't want to get greedy, though. Just hang around. Stay in the hunt in the West. Stay in the hunt and do your very best to, like you said, steal one here and there, but just you can't go down the drain right now.
And
that's the tough one.
It's good that the Padres have been playing some good baseball. They need to keep that up because they're going up against teams like when they were against the Phillies. You don't bring your A game, all of a sudden you're back in a 3, 4, 5-game losing streak again. When you face teams like this, you got to bring your A game, and that gives you a chance to split or maybe win a series against tougher teams like the Dodgers and the Braves. And lately, the Padres have been, I think we've seen their A game, or at least close to their A game the last couple of weeks, or at least the last week or so. Maybe, the real A game involves Fernando Tatis Jr. and Manny Machado and Xander Bogaerts performing a little bit better, but they're certainly getting closer to that. All right, we'll talk more baseball on a Friday with Jordan Shusterman from Cespedes Family Barbecue. That is coming up next. Hour number 3 of Ben and Woods ahead on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we're halfway home on a Friday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Great to be here with you on a Friday. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, Ben Higgins. Before we get to Jordan Shusterman, my wife's still in the car, so I wanted to wish her a happy Mother's Day this Sunday. I know we're going to do a Mother's Day segment later, but I wanted to catch her while she was in the whip, dropping the kids off at school. Happy Mother's Day to the mother of my children.
A nude cruise.
A nude cruise.
You and Hannah?
I walked in
Swingers cruise?
I walked in yesterday in the afternoon, and the bathroom door was closed, and she walked out of the bathroom stark naked. And I went, oh, Lord. Whew. 16-year-old me could see me now. And then she immediately put her clothes on, but it was a good moment for me. And she looks phenomenal, and she's a great mother and a great partner. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. We'll get into our segment, but I wanted to catch her while she was in the car. I love you. Happy Mother's Day, baby.
All right, let's go out. Joining us right now, it's Friday, which means it's a Cespedes Family Barbecue Friday. And joining us, presented by our friends at Grand Ole Barbecue this week, it is Jordan Shusterman from Cespedes Family Barbecue. And doesn't look like he's on a bike ride anywhere to upstate anything right now. Looks like he's just comfortable.
That's why we like
That's why we like Jordan.
Is that where Jake was last week?
Yes.
Yeah, he was on some highway somewhere on a bike in his bike helmet.
You know, people ask us what's the difference and between Jake and Jordan, and I think that's kind of it. Like, if you have us on one of your shows, Jake is much more likely to be on the side of the road.
He literally was.
It's honestly that simple. And I will be at this same desk. Although I'm moving soon, so it might start to look a little bit different in a little while.
All right, let's see. Number one Jeremiah Estrada fan this week for Jordan. He's
First of all, if you're watching on the YouTube stream, Jordan is rocking the new City Connect Tampa Bay Rays hat.
Yeah.
It's one of the coolest hats
It
I've
looks
ever
good.
seen.
Looks really good.
That thing is so cool.
Yeah, they got the neon kind of look on the uniforms. Yeah, we had a conversation about the Padres City Connects. They were one of the first ones, obviously. This is the third year of the City Connects, and very cool, but also not great for people like me and Woods and the older fan necessarily in terms of the color palette on our older, not great looking bodies.
Chubby, pasty, yeah.
Totally hear that. I will say, this one now, this hat, the one that I'm wearing is one of the alternate. I don't think they're actually wearing these on field at any point, but they have so many different variations. But as far as aggressive colors go, this is the first one to really rival the Padres one, for better or for worse. I understand that it might necessarily not be the best for all audiences, but I love it. To me, I will embrace something looking different, aggressively different, as much as anything else, whether they're good or bad. I'm not even that much of a uniform person to care that much, but in this case, I had to rep, even if it's kind of random. I just love these so much.
Yeah, it's pretty clean, but we love your headline there. Number one Jeremiah Estrada fan. We are fans of
ERA, baby.
Yeah, we're fans of his as well. And you saw him in the Cubs series in a little bit more high leverage than he was used to. And, I think it was a matter of necessity, but I think it's also a matter of stuff. He's got really, really good stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him, getting the nod because some of the guys later in the game have faltered a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And, I like to shout out some of the guys more at the bottom of the roster when I come on here. But that is someone, to your point. I mean, I think that, yeah, of course, Suarez has been spectacular,
Nasty.
But at the same time, the rest of this bullpen has been so fluid. There's so many different, mixing and matching, and I think that Estrada, you just get a little bit of adrenaline there, facing the team that drafted him. I imagine. I think that was cool, and it's definitely someone that you could see. Again, the difference, because there's so many hard throwing relievers now, and there's so many where it's to differentiate them, it is just a tick better commander, a tick better execution. But Estrada has the capability to definitely work into more of those positions. Yeah, will he have a 0 ERA all season? Probably not, but I'm going to enjoy it while it lasts.
So, Jordan, your colleague Jake this week on your guys' Yahoo platform wrote about Juan Soto and really how well everything has gone so far, right off the bat for Juan Soto since joining the New York Yankees. And it has been met with, here in San Diego, from what I've seen, it's bitterness. There's a lot of anger, actually, in the Padres fan base. And it's not because Juan Soto was bad with the Padres. He wasn't. He put up numbers, but they were never able to take advantage of those numbers the way the Yankees instantly seem to have clicked with Juan Soto. The click just never happened here. And I don't know, you guys talk about what is the difference? It's not as though the Padres didn't have a lot of talent, just like the Yankees do. What has been and made it work so quickly for Juan Soto in New York?
Yeah, it's interesting, and because on like you said, it's as much as frustrating as 2023 was, and I'm sure there were some times when you wish Juan Soto came through, but it's like you're really gonna get mad at the guy that played 162 games and hit 35 home runs and 410 on
you feel
base.
bad, like you can't. It's not his fault, but there is a certain sense of like he was disappointing here.
Yeah, which is wild, but I think if anything, it just speaks to the standard of the player that we're talking about here, and how unfortunately I do think that it's hard because it's like I understand the inclination to be bitter or roll your eyes and like, oh, he's doing it with the Yankees and like everyone like this is what the national media wants him to be this great with the Yankees, and it's like, all right, well. Yes, that can be kind of annoying, but here he is again. He hasn't missed a game. He's putting up even more power numbers. And at some point, which you could sort of expect, making that ballpark transition. And I don't know. I think it's just a matter of circumstance. And we're talking about an all-time great. That is what he is. It's an all-time great. And last year was a great season and not an all-time great season. Yeah. And because of in the context of how disappointing everything else was with the Padres, he just kind of gets lumped in with that. So I understand it. It's unfortunate that of course you couldn't have him in San Diego for a little bit longer. But I think you just kind of have to move on and embrace what you still have, because it took a lot of crazy circumstance to get him there in the first place, and a lot of crazy circumstance to get him out of San Diego. So
talking to our pal Jordan Shusterman from Cespedes Family Barbecue. If I know you and Jake at all, I know that tomorrow is a big day for you, and I think if you're a baseball fan, it's a big day for everyone. Everyone's excited to watch Paul Skeens pitch. I am very excited. I'm a big Livy Dunn fan as well. So I'm very, very interested to see what this kid can do. He's a different guy. I mean, I remember the story about when he was in college, him walking up to his own teammates going, I outwork you. I outwork you. I mean, it's just, he's got the thing, the it factor. You couple that with a big frame, nasty velocity, exploding braking stuff, everything that you could dream of if you could draw it up. How do you think this is going to go for him, man?
Yeah, it's really exciting, and Jake's going to be there. He's making the trip. He'll be flying to Pittsburgh tomorrow, so he'll be in attendance for that. And I got to see Skeens last week in Indianapolis in what turned out to be his penultimate AAA start, and I had kind of sensed that was the case. In fact, when I went there, I was basically the only media member because no one was still thinking he was going to be there in Indianapolis at that point. But really what it seems like the Pirates are prioritizing is building him up in a workload in a way that they can kind of let him loose now for the rest of the season. We've seen so many young pitchers come up recently where you kind of have to put the reins on and hold them back as the season goes on because you want to be careful with the innings and you want to be careful with the workload. They seem to have built it up now where they feel like now it's go time, and we feel comfortable with him going on regular MLB rest. But as you said, everyone should be excited. And I do think while we've had a lot of, I talked about this on the podcast we recorded this morning, I think that a pitcher debuting is significantly different than a hitter debuting. Not that it's not exciting to see top prospects come up, and regardless of what happens after the fact, as we've seen in the negative way with Jackson Holliday, as we've seen in a positive way with someone like Jackson Merrill, right? I mean, what he's meant to the Padres. But a start and for a pitcher with this kind of stuff, to look forward to what that looks like against big leaguers and see him strike out big league hitters and not AAA guys we've never heard of, it's a big difference and it's a big jump up. And I can't wait to see what kind of adjustments he's going to be making, because he's going to have to make some. He's not going to be this. I mean, there's a chance he's going to be this dominant right away, but I would bet slightly against it. But I'm excited to see what it looks like tomorrow and then for the rest of the season.
Talking with Jordan Shusterman from Cespedes Family Barbecue, and Jordan, you wrote this week about Corbin Carroll's early season struggles and now emerging from them, and the Diamondbacks have won, I think, 4 in a row, just swept the Cincinnati Reds. A lot of guys have gotten off to slow starts this year. It is possible to break out of those slow starts. Maybe you can write about Xander Bogaerts here coming up, because he is He maybe not even quite as bad of a start as Corbin Carroll. And we're trying. He looks like he's in the absolute torture chamber right now and lost his confidence. He's giving quotes like he's lost right now. And
it's great
for someone who's making $285 million over the next 11 years. It's pretty troubling as Padres fans seeing what's happening to Xander Bogaerts right now. Your thoughts?
It's so staggering, and I do need to dig in. I remember doing a little bit of this last year, but last year, while it was disappointing, he was not bad.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
He was a good hitter.
Great start, great finish.
Other than when the wrist was bothering him, he was pretty solid all year.
Right. I remember he had that stretch, and we're wondering, is that hampering the power or whatever? Played 155 games, 119 OPS plus. Great. A good player. I mean, is that the player that franchise $30 million a year? Maybe not, but that's a good player. He, again, not the problem.
We take that right now instantly.
In a heartbeat.
Like, that would be a dream if he could get to 119 OPS
so
plus.
Would he. Yeah. Exactly.
He would too. He would absolutely love to be back, at a 790 OPS. Sounds like a dream. So, yeah, I don't know. I would love to do, maybe in a couple of weeks I can come back on here and see if I can figure it out. Hopefully he's heated up by then. But I think what's so shocking about that one, and, this is different from a guy like Carroll, but there have been some examples of this with some of the hitters. I think, honestly, Bo Bichette is maybe a better comparison in terms of what's going on this year with how bad he's been. Whereas it's like, how does it go? Like, this is someone with a track record, with not just a track record of consistency, of the same thing every year, right? Not just the high end, oh my gosh, he's one of the best players in baseball, but you knew what you were getting, right? And that's what I think is troubling. And even the people that said this is a crazy contract, which that's fine. That's a reasonable take of the time. That was about, years 6 through 11 when he's no longer playing shortstop and no longer doing, it's like, okay, well now he's already not playing shortstop and now he's also not hitting. That's what's concerning, right?
No doubt.
So is he doomed? No, but it's weird. I haven't watched him close enough to say definitively, but it is definitely one that I'm going to have to start looking at closer because again, a lot of these other guys, Tatis having an awesome year, Manny, I think we'll see as he starts kind of getting more fully healthy. I think we're a little bit more encouraged there. You've gotten incredible production from, of course, Profar and guys like Cronenworth. So there is still a lot going pretty well in this offense, and Bogaerts is now the clear weak link.
Which is crazy. It's crazy. If you watched him in Boston, and I know you did, I mean, just such a gap-to-gap guy. And to watch now, just kind of weak, soft contact, ass-out swings, and taking 3-1 cookies the other day against the Cubs. It's clearly in his dome, and I think that's the hardest part. If it was his wrist, it's okay, well, we'll get the shot, and we'll rest, and then we'll come back stronger than ever like he did last year. But when it's in somebody's dome right now and they've just forgotten and are terrified to go up to the plate, it's not great. It's just not a great feeling.
Yeah, and just as you said, it's the weak contact, right? It's not like the strikeouts have ballooned.
Strikeouts have been fine.
A little bit less, but he's just not doing any damage. He's not chasing. It's not like he's suddenly looking lost and just it's just like a sapped, just everything is just sapped, right?
Yeah.
It's just he's nothing. There's no juice there. And
correct.
That's why it's hard not to think about it as maybe still injury related, but you kind of got to trust the player. I mean, I know it doesn't really help, but I think the honesty from him is, I appreciate that, right? He knows he's going through it and he's it's not like he's necessarily hiding from it.
He's not.
But at some point, you got to produce, and he's someone they really need to produce.
We've got the Shohei Show coming to Petco Park for the first time this weekend. He has been. Is it possible he could have exceeded expectations? Possibly high expectations.
I think yes. Now, I think the basic premise of, oh wow, what happens when Ohtani only focuses on hitting? He's going to become even better. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much.
Do you think
what
that's
has
it? I
happened.
was going to ask you that has been kind of going around that. Now that he's not worried about pitching for the time being because he's recovering from the surgery, that he's really been able to finally dedicate himself to the craft of hitting, and now we're really seeing what he can do. That's insane. That's insane.
Well, it's truly a product of there are only so many hours in a day,
right?
And if you talk to people that have been around Shohei Ohtani and have been teammates with him, it is that he is preparing physically, mentally, scouting, watching that. In order to do the two ways, both at once, he has to be doing that all the time. And now He really only has to do one. Right?
Jordan,
and so
doesn't he sleep 12 hours a day or something ridiculous as well? So really, he only has 12 hours to prepare.
Right? No, it's true.
This.
It's a great
point.
True. This is not someone waking up at the crack of dawn.
Right.
He's getting his sleep. But you know that when he's at the ballpark, boy, is he, getting the most out of that preparation.
So I was on a text thread with my friend, and the idea was brought up. They've got the Dodgers have him for the next 10 years. That maybe like crop rotation, like every third year you let him sit fallow and not pitch like every third year just to keep reset him like some sort of, to keep your fields producing that you have to you draw him back every couple of years.
Not the worst idea. It's really not.
And listen, like that is, and I know if you're a Padres fan, listen, they're like, God, this is the worst. But it's like, this is the miracle of this guy, right? I mean, think about where this began with his major league career.
Yeah.
Everyone watched him in spring training and being like, "This is a joke. Get on the mound, dude.
Terrible.
We don't want to watch you try and hit anymore."
He can't hit.
And now I'm like, maybe you should just relieve. Like the Dodgers are gonna have plenty of pitchers. Like can we just want you hit 60 home runs? Because that's pretty fun. Like I'm enjoying this.
We're not at all. But Elisa did with the line of the day in the chat. She said, "Well, we know he doesn't waste any time looking at his finances." So that's one thing he's not focused on, his bank account.
It's absolutely that's a fact. It's a great joke and a factual statement. So I have no notes there.
You're the best, dude. Thanks so much for popping on. Have a great weekend, and tell Jake we said hi. And can't wait to see
find him on the roads of upstate New York.
Yeah. Don't even bother. Hopefully he's there at Skiing State tomorrow. I don't know how he's getting there, but
probably
we'll see. Thank you guys. Always fun.
Thank you,
Thanks,
brother.
Jordan. Jordan Shusterman, Cespedes Family Barbecue. Their weekly appearances brought to you by our friends at Grand Ole Barbecue, Flint Springs, North Park, and at the ballpark. I may enjoy some tonight, actually, if the line isn't too long. You always have to battle. You have to plan when you go to the ballpark
and
early,
and especially for Grand Ole. Like I get there and I get it before I take the kids to Gallagher and I eat my pulled pork sandwich as they play.
I did Spiro's last week. It was really good. But I need to rotate around and hit them all, obviously.
Of course.
So, thanks to Jordan Shusterman. All right, we'll come back. It is Mother's Day coming up this Sunday.
Yes.
So want to get some Mother's Day wishes out there to all of our family members. And then we've got our Reindl Report and Mike Shildt at the top of the hour on a Friar Friday with the Manager's Report. All ahead with Ben and Woods after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Just thanks again to Jordan Shusterman from Cespedes Family Barbecue. I asked that question about Juan Soto, and do feel like
he got killed.
I do feel like people are
mad.
Are maybe somewhat unaware of how much animosity there is in the Padres fan base. I was in a thread with Emily Nyman this week. She had commented about, she's a Yankees fan. Great. Been a guest to the program before. She said it's like the greatest thing having Juan Soto on your team. I can't imagine this feeling could be any better. And I just commented and I go, Padres fans? Anyone out there? And my timeline for the next day was just filled with venom toward Juan Soto. It's like people have seriously issues still that they have not worked out over Juan Soto's time with the San Diego Padres. And again, to be fair, Juan Soto played in every game last year. His numbers were outstanding. He was the best player on the Padres. You're mad that the Padres had a bad season and Juan Soto's contributions didn't turn into winning. But as the Yankees are showing, it's not Juan Soto's fault. He's not like
It turned into more winning than we'd seen here in a long time, though. I mean, I know last year was that awful year, but you're talking about it wasn't his fault, right?
But as the Yankees are showing, Juan Soto's not some cancer that just you put him on the team and everyone else falls apart instantly. That's not guaranteed to happen, and it hasn't happened in New York. At least it hasn't happened yet. And I refuse to subscribe to the theory that the problem with the Padres was Juan Soto. And the solution this year, and they're playing definitely better, is not the absence of Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Jake Cronenworth didn't start hitting because Juan Soto is gone.
Right.
That's just not the case. One is not related to the other. The Padres would be better if you could just magically put Juan Soto back on this team. There are people who would think you'd ruin all the good chemistry if you brought Juan Soto back. No, if you could put him back on this team, but keep, Dylan Cease.
Yeah.
Who by the way, part of that Juan Soto trade was getting Drew Thorpe, which you then helped turn into Dylan Cease. So if you could keep those guys, but also add Juan Soto, guess what? Padres would be better.
I mean, all that AJ would have maybe had to do was just up the prospect capital to still go get Dylan Cease.
Sure, yeah, it's
totally possible.
It's exactly right because they were going to get rid of him. But yeah, man, it's water under the bridge as far as I'm concerned. And hey, listen, the Yankees may only have him for a year as well. He may be a Met next year. It's going to be, I would imagine, quite the bidding war, especially if he keeps hitting like this in New York. So. Yeah, it's listen, I understand sour grapes and you always hate to see somebody go somewhere and do, in your opinion, what you feel a little bit better. But there were people in this fan base that never liked him from the day he got here. And that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to love them all. It is what it is.
But it's I think you need to come to grips at some point. And
it was a math problem. It was a math issue. That was the problem. Because if they could have kept him, they would have. Straight up. So, it wasn't like, oh, thank God we got rid of him.
I mean, it's a bummer because when that trade happened in July of, 22? We were told 2.5 years, 3 runs, and we had him for 2.
Yeah.
And one of them didn't really turn into a run.
One of them was awful. Yeah.
First one was great.
Yeah, first one was awesome.
It's big hits in that
sure did.
postseason.
Yeah.
And had they gone on a run again last year, my guess is they would have been less forced to maybe retrench the payroll.
I don't know that.
Still
losing your
Peter
TV
Seidler
deal.
was still going to pass away. You're still losing the TV deal. I don't know. Maybe they could have won the World Series and they still would have had to trade Juan Soto this offseason. That's an interesting hindsight question. What even AJ Preller doesn't know the answer to that 100%.
Petey says, Ben, don't tell me how to live my life with a smiley face. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Everyone have plans for Mother's Day out there this weekend? We're going to brunch with Shelly and the family. My mother is still in France.
Beautiful.
So she's enjoying a trip this week with my dad on the Seine River. I got pictures from the beaches of Normandy yesterday where they were, somber and seeing the
Paulie,
memorial.
you don't celebrate at that beach.
Yes.
The beaches of Normandy. Okay. Just for the record, it's not. They're popping bottles.
No.
At Normandy.
No.
It's a
Good
memorial.
Perpetual Memorial Day when you're at the Omaha Beach.
If you ever do make it over there, just remember, keep your shirt on.
Party.
Keep your shirt on. Tell Megan to keep her top on.
It's not a nude cruise of the beaches of Normandy. Sorry, no.
Yeah, we're doing brunch and then going to my mother-in-law's to swim, which again, I told you, going to be very uncomfortable taking my shirt off. I need a jersey, a Carl Anthony
Clothing
Towns
optional.
jersey. No, I'm going to wear my shorts, but I'm just going to get in the water and stay up to my neck. I'm so
oversized T-shirt.
I'm so creamy white that it's just not fun. Like I don't really like stripping down, So we're doing that. How did the gifts go? Did you get your mom something?
I did.
I have not, but she again is out of the country at the moment, so I don't feel like the immediate pressure to do anything.
So like, is she going to come home to a nice card?
Well, no, she'll be late. It's over at that point.
So
right?
so there's no celebrating once it's
You're
done.
off the hook.
Jesus. He's like, Mom, travel every year.
Yeah, perfect.
On Mother's Day.
Perfect.
Yeah, I happy Mother's Day to my mother, Marcia. We are three of the luckiest guys in the world that all of our mothers are absolute angels.
Yes.
I mean, every single one of them are angels.
Look who they had to put up with.
The 100%. I mean, Kim actually got off the hook pretty easily, but yeah. But my wife, we're gonna swim and eat brunch and hang out and do all that stuff and celebrate Mom. She's going to the spa again today. Hopefully she makes it through this time without leaving on a stretcher like she did last time. So hopefully that goes better for her today. So.
She just relaxed too hard.
So much relaxing. So, yeah, I'm going to get the kids today and keep them out of her hair. That's really the goal if you have kids. Keep them away from the mother of them. That's really what every mother wants. Take those kids that I birthed and I'm their mother, get them as far away from me as you can get them. And that's
I want to be
really
able to pretend I am not a mother
Correct.
for one day.
For
Mother's
a
Day,
weekend,
please.
For a weekend. And that's really, and it's counterintuitive, but that's
Should be
actually...
Forget you're a Mother's Day is what really it should be, right?
That's actually what they want is to just, I don't want to see you or them for 72 hours. And I feel like...
there's 364 Mother's Days,
Yeah.
and there's one, forget you're a Mother's Day
Correct.
and enjoy yourself for a day.
Yeah. Kiki asked what happened to her. We don't know. She was dehydrated. She was not drinking alcohol or anything like that, but she passed out. And it was really scary. And,
Overly massaged.
Yeah, too many massages that day. And
Crushed by hot stone treatments.
And I think it was the heat and, her diet, and she had run like 6 miles that morning, and she just zonked out. So they actually had to take her out. So hopefully, again, she makes it through today at the spa where she definitely deserves to be.
Happy Mother's Day to my mom, Julie. She's watching on YouTube right now.
Julie,
I'm
sweet
pretty
angel.
Sure my mother-in-law is also watching on YouTube
Another
right now.
sweet angel.
Thank you both for putting up with me. And Mom, your gift is on the way. Can't tell you what it is because, well, it's not Mother's Day just yet.
That's right.
Sunday.
Did you get a 2-for-1 on the mouth harp?
Oh, yeah.
And send her one, too?
This makes a great Mother's Day
I would think
gift.
so. This is what mothers really would like. No?
God, you're getting good at that.
I'm getting
No, I
really
did not
good.
get a 2-for-1 on the harp. And then, Sunday we're going to get breakfast with my mother-in-law, and then we're taking her to her favorite place, the casino.
Love it.
Go walk around, play some slots,
So
hang out.
we're and a shout out to my mother-in-law Susie, who is awesome. She's just awesome. The best mother-in-law you could ask for. Hopefully she's listening this morning too. But yeah, we are going to invade your home on Sunday and swim, and my kids are going to tear it in half as they always do. So we love all of the moms out there. We know how hard you work. We really appreciate you, and you guys are incredible. Thank you.
All right, we got Mike Shildt coming up in 30 minutes. Do not go anywhere on a Friar Friday. First up, though, Paulie going to give us some headlines on the Reindl Report. That is next with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I just remembered we got the skipper coming up in 20 minutes, man. Been such a fun show, loose show.
I did just mention it.
You did. I wasn't listening.
Yeah, that's all right.
I did not listen.
What are we going to ask him about? Get some questions prepared.
I got to go to my.
How are they? His thoughts on the trade.
Yeah, that's true. We last time we talked to him, the news was going to break
that night.
Later that evening on Friday.
Just a week
One
ago?
week ago, Luis Arias was happily or not so happily a member of the Miami Marlins a week ago, and now he is a week into his San Diego Padres tenure.
So yeah, get to ask him about that, and also want to ask him about Jerkson. Profar and that whole scene that went down in Chicago.
I mean,
ask it that way.
Yeah.
Curious,
Hey,
like, how are you going to pitch Shohei Ohtani this series? You can't
ask him
answer.
that crap. He's not
can't
gonna-
answer
he's not
those
gonna answer.
questions. Can't share strategies like that.
No.
I am. Like, what do you do though?
Well,
He
we're going to
is-
start him with an 0-1 fastball.
I don't. You don't. I mean, look, Mike Shildt doesn't know how to get Shohei Ohtani out. Nobody does right now. So I mean, it's literally chuck and duck. I feel with the top three, maybe four, and maybe five in their lineup. You throw it and you hope for the best. You hope they miss it. You hope they roll over something. You know, you hope Shohei chases something. You hope Mookie doesn't lead off with a home run. I mean, there's a lot of hope in baseball for the starting pitcher, for the manager, and it's hope. Like, I hope Michael King comes out tonight and is able to locate, and something's moving really well for him, and he's disguising the ball very well.
We've seen it. We've
seen
few of his
it,
starts.
100%.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can be the most prepared in the world, and you can have the exact plan of how to attack the Dodgers lineup, and Mookie gets a double, and Freddie hits a double, and you're like, plan's out the window. I'm going to.
And you didn't necessarily make a mistake.
100%.
They hit non-mistakes as well.
100%. And so can we. So can we. So I really do think there's just a lot of hope in it. Pitch my game, and if they get me, they get me. And I think that's the attitude you have to have, especially against a lineup like that.
All right, we're going to check traffic. Paulie's got some headlines on the other side with the Reindl Report. Don't go anywhere. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Tough Turtle Turf. Transform your lawn with ToughTurtleTurf.com. Couple of problems here. South on 163 before Washington Street, two-vehicle accident. Also in the North County, two-vehicle accident. Westbound 56 before Carmel Valley Road, not showing if lanes are blocked. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Tough Turtle Turf is your go-to for all your landscaping needs. Transform your lawn with our lush, low-maintenance proprietary artificial turf. And add style and functionality with our durable pavers and stepping stones. And so much more. Transform your lawn with Tough Turtle Turf at ToughTurtleTurf.com.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
Two stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And one story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right. Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday,
Happy
Paul.
Friday.
It is the Reindl Report, brought to you by the Frozen Ropes Summer Baseball League. The
Yeah,
Frozen
buddy.
Ropes is now registering ball players age 6 through 12. Go to San Diego FrozenRopes.com for more information.
Got Bo all signed up yesterday.
Yes.
Super stoked.
Love
man.
it.
Super stoked.
All right, gentlemen, let's start out. How about we have not talked a ton about the Stanley Cup playoffs, but in the NHL last night, 2 games, the Dallas Stars here in Dallas beat the
my
Avalanche
Dallas Stars, yes.
5-3. That
Yep.
series is tied, second round of the Western Conference. And then over on the East, this game went to overtime, but the Rangers did win 3-2 over the Hurricanes. And
They gave up the late goal to force overtime. One of
Right.
those usual, they're on the road, you're going to lose that kind of game.
Yeah.
But they came back and won it anyway.
Now, if you haven't been following very closely, they lead 3-0 in that series. The New York Rangers do. They haven't lost yet in the playoffs. They are 7-0, looking to close out the Hurricanes. I believe they play tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Is the next
Yeah.
one?
So I saw an amazing stat that I did not realize. That any team that has started the Stanley Cup playoffs 7-0, so sweep and then 3 more wins, they have all gone on to win the Stanley Cup. Every single one of them that has started 7-0 has gone on to win the Cup. But there's also the jinx, the President's Trophy jinx. The team that has the best regular season record wins the President's Trophy, and they never win the Stanley Cup. And the Rangers were the President's Trophy winners. So they've got the opposing stats now going for and against them.
Which one will prevail?
I don't know.
I mean,
one of them has to end up being wrong, though.
Well, it's not that no one that's won the President's Cup. They have.
It's just been a long time.
It's just been a long time and rare.
But no one has ever not won the Stanley Cup after starting 7-0. What a fun time! I mean,
that's really cool.
New York sports fans have been in a kind of a torture chamber for a while. I mean, even the Yankees had been 15 years since they've been really good. Mets have been in a blender. Knicks were terrible for a while. Their hockey teams have been bad. Now you got the Knicks in an entertaining postseason, and they're playing really well. The Rangers are playing well. Everyone's delighted about Juan Soto and the Yankees at the moment. It's a good time again to be a New York sports fan.
Yeah.
Even the Mets are 500.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the NBA. We briefly discussed the NBA playoffs already. In case you missed it, the Cavaliers absolutely wiped the floor with the Celtics last night, 118-94. The Mavericks tied their series up with the Thunder, 119-110, beating Oklahoma City yesterday. But in the NBA, we talked about Patrick Beverley earlier this week. He was on Don't Do This for firing a basketball at fans in the second row there, and then they tossed the ball back at him. He threw it even harder and hit a woman in the head. It was not good.
I saw they opened a police investigation into that.
They did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much to investigate. It's right there on...
Very clear.
Right there on video.
Hit her hard.
Yeah.
And obviously a suspension was coming, and that was announced yesterday. Patrick Beverley will be suspended for 4 games without pay to start next season. And I think he's a free agent, so... whatever team signs him, you will not have him for the first 4 games.
Not the greatest selling point for his agent at the moment, for sure.
No.
You're going to get him for 78 of the 82. And we're also going to need to load manage a little bit. So enjoy it for about 69 games next year, max.
If you're going to watch any basketball tonight, we do have a ESPN doubleheader, 4 o'clock. Pacers hosting the Knicks. New York has a 2-0 series lead in that one. And then the Timberwolves will host the Nuggets. Minnesota has a 2-0 series lead. They took 2 in Denver, so now they got the series back home.
Absolute must-win for the Nuggets if they want to keep their championship hopes alive. You go down 3-0,
MVP Jokic.
and you've already lost 2 at home. There's no coming back from that.
Nope.
So.
And then finally, my story just went away. Let me pull it right back up. One of the worst things that can happen, most annoying things that can happen. You guys ever lose a debit card or something? Lose your wallet?
I thought I did yesterday.
I went to lunch last week and with my son, and I left it in the little folder sleeve.
Oh, yeah.
And I walked out, and we were pulling out, and I saw the whoever the hostess that was at the restaurant running out and
Saved your ass,
so
man.
much. You saved me. I wouldn't have known where it was. Would have had to go back later. And that was a really nice maneuver.
Dude, in today's day and age, with everything connected to Apple Pay or whatever, electronic payments, you lose your debit card or credit card or whatever, you have to resubscribe to everything, update your payment information on everything. It's horrible. And I got a story here from a woman in North Carolina named Rhonda. She went to a restaurant called Smith's Cafe, and she left her credit card behind. It happens. She realized it. She went back to pick it up, and there was a big problem. One of the employees at the cafe spotted the card and wanted to help retrieve, get it back to its owner. So in an effort to find Rhonda, the employee took pictures of the front and back of the card, posted it on a Facebook group for their small town. They did not edit the photo at all. They didn't censor or block out anything. All of the information was clearly visible.
And they were trying to do something nice.
The post says, "Hey guys, Mrs. Rhonda Deaver, you left your card here at the store. If you know her, let her know that we have it.
Yeah,
we would love to make sure it's returned."
Is this you? Is this your number? Is this your 3-digit security code?
It even wrote in the post on Facebook, "We've placed it in a secure location." Well,
not really.
Not really.
It's actually the least secure location. If you had just thrown it in a drawer and I would have remembered, and I could have come back and checked, That would have been better.
It doesn't say how long the post was up, but it was long enough that people started using her credit card, and there were over $2,000 in charges. She had to close the bank account immediately. Most of the I think all of the charges were declined. She's got to go through that whole process of fraud and getting the money back, and then got to get a new card.
Getting a new card is
God,
the biggest nightmare. It's
the worst.
They always make it sound so simple. I see a charge I don't recognize on my account, or they call you and they go, "Did you just charge $278 at a Walmart in New Orleans, Louisiana?" And I go,
"Wasn't me."
I hate it when
I did not do that. Okay, no worries. You're not responsible for that, sir. We're going to cancel the card and we're going to send you out a new one. You should have it in the next 17 to 20 business days, which is, of course, like it's a month.
Do you guys usually call your bank before you go out of town? Like, let them know, hey,
I can do it on my app
training.
now. Sometimes they can say, like, travel advisory.
Because I'll get calls like, hey, are you in Las Vegas? Because there was a big charge. I'm like, yeah, that's me. It's all good. It's okay.
Yeah, the thing I don't like is when they immediately reject the order. Like if you're in Vegas or something and you swipe for dinner and then they your card was rejected.
Like,
you go to your phone, you see the notification, you're like, hang on. Yes, this was me, moron. And then you send it back and run it again. It's a terrifying feeling.
I mean, dude, I even hate it. I'm looking at my card right now. Mine expires January of 26, and that means like I'm gonna have to get a new card. Like every 3 years or whatever, your card expires. You're like
all the stuff
alone,
that's attached to it.
You still have to do the same thing as if you lost it. You're like, oh my god.
Have either of you ever experienced where you went to like a restaurant for a meal, and for whatever reason at the end you were unable to pay for the meal? Like your card was declined unexpectedly and you didn't have any cash. You were unable to pay for the meal.
Why would I go to dinner if I couldn't pay?
Well, no. You thought you were good.
Oh, I was like
and for
overdrawn or something.
Yeah, or for whatever, or just for no reason whatsoever, the card just isn't working, and you don't have any other means to pay for it. Nowadays, there's like apps and stuff. It'd be hard not to.
Yeah,
but
you could
at
Apple
least when
Pay.
we were growing up, you didn't realize. Oh, I thought I had $40 in cash, and now I only have 20. I don't have enough to cover this. That ever happened to you?
Never.
I don't think it's happened to me either.
Now the old go wash dishes.
Yeah, the old
bit.
TV show bit. I gotta go wash dishes, Ben.
If I could go to a nice restaurant and eat dinner, I'd wash dishes so that I didn't have to pay.
Sure. For what nice restaurants cost nowadays?
I love this job. This is my favorite job I've ever had. My second favorite job might have been washing dishes in a restaurant. Had the time of my life. Truly. No one bothered me. I had the music cranked.
Back of the house staff.
Back of the
usually
house.
Pretty good crew.
Cranked as loud as it could go. And I just mechanical. I was 17 years old or whatever. Like, it wasn't the worst gig I ever had.
Now, were you just kind of rinsing them and putting them in a dishwasher?
Yeah,
or did you have to clean them
the
completely?
Stuff off them, throw them in the thing, slide it in,
No.
and they start to pile up, and you start jamming the ram. You'd spray the ramekin, and it would splash up and hit you in the face. That was not my favorite, but
did you ever eat food off a plate?
Oh yeah,
really,
100%.
Yeah. Uneaten food from an unknown restaurant diner.
Not unknown. Well, from the diner, yeah. Yeah,
from the dining room.
Not an unknown restaurant.
No, but from the they could have done anything to that plate.
I remember working at a restaurant and like bringing some dishes back to the dishwashing area,
Yeah,
and like guy would just pick something right off the plate and start eating. I'm like,
well, what do you think they're doing? They're not sprinkling pubic hair on it or something. Hey, I'm going to send this back. Let me get it.
It's still gross.
But don't you wonder why they didn't eat it? Was something wrong? Was wrong with it?
He's full.
Yeah, most of the time, but every once in a while. It's like, I didn't eat this because there was something gross about it, or there was something.
It was a nice restaurant.
I accidentally put sugar instead of salt on it when I was.
No, it was a nice restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah. This is like a fine dining establishment.
Right.
A steak or something. You're like, oh, that's good. Piece of bread. Piece of bread untouched, on the plate. You're like, oh, I'll eat that.
Did you get to have, it was a nice restaurant? So did you get, family meal beforehand?
You get the discount. You get those shift meal and. Most importantly, illegal shift cocktails and all of that. And there's girls there. It was not the worst gig of my life. I didn't make a lot of money.
What was this place called?
Cafe di Roma.
Cafe di Roma? Italian or?
Di Roma, yes. Cafe di Roma. Mm-hmm. Fine dining. I eventually worked my way up to waiter where I did not know what I was doing. Dropped trays and pushed corks down in very expensive bottles of wine. That was not my favorite.
Oh, the worst.
All right, we got the manager, Mike Shildt, joining us next on a Friar Friday. The manager's report. The Dodgers are in town. Should be a good conversation. Do not go anywhere. One more hour of Ben and Woods left.
I know exactly where to start.
On 97.3 The Fan. Good.
Skipper.
Matthew worked in a restaurant. He said, just cut off the bitten part of the hamburger, bam, free hamburger.
100%.
And I said, you realize they were holding that unbitten part with probably their even dirtier hands. And he goes, totally. Totally understands that part of it.
I knew that too. But you get hungry back there. You're working hard. You've never worked in a kitchen. You don't have any idea. You can't speak on it, man. You can't speak on it.
No, I've been in, I've pretty much done radio my entire life, radio and television.
That's right.
Nothing else. It sounds kind of like Mike Shildt has just done baseball pretty much his entire life. I'm sure he's had other lines of work. And joining us right now for our Manager's Report, brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking. It's better. The skipper of the San Diego Padres, coming off a couple of good series wins this week. It is Mike Shildt with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Mike, good morning to you. Welcome back to San Diego.
Good morning, gentlemen. Always good to be back in beautiful, best city in the world.
Absolutely right. What is your this has got, being the manager of a Major League Baseball team, that's number one gig, like the best. There's nothing going to be better than that, right? What was your worst gig you ever had?
Ooh, worst one. A couple different winters over Christmas break. I've been a worker my whole life, so I've had a lot of odd jobs and so forth, but probably the more challenging one was I would go split wood for Sonny's barbecue. And I'd get up and I'd be in, had to be in Albemarle, which is about 45 minutes from my house in Charlotte. And it was brutally cold in December. And, they'd drop off these huge, logs of, trees. And the guy that ran it would, he'd cut it with a chainsaw, he'd roll it over and I'd have to pick it up and I'd use a wood splitter. And, it was 28 degrees and dark when we started, and we did the loads to Sonny's barbecue, 2 or 3 different loads, and I don't know, I got like $15 in cash an hour and a barbecue sandwich.
That's unreal.
My takeaway here for the Dodgers tonight is that our manager knows how to use an axe
and split wood, man, in the cold, bro. Like that is.
Be careful tonight.
That's a crap job. There's no, and I bet you Sonny never had enough wood either. So you're out there splitting it all day.
All day, man. It was and the guy had like 2 little pet chihuahuas that were aggressive, and man, it was like, you got in there, it was like 6:30 in the morning, and these 2 dogs are, nipping at your legs, and you're like, I just, what am I doing?
What am I doing? You're like, I'd rather go ride buses in the minor leagues than do this. That's
right.
what I'm gonna do.
But that $15 an hour was a big deal because I worked at Taco Loco, was making, $3.85 an hour and got like a 10-cent raise. Like, man, I'm doing it.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's great.
Oh,
great
everyone
story.
loves that North Carolina Mexican food. Just ask Will Myers. It's definitely a popular thing over there. The white queso. So I can't believe it's only been a week that that Luis Arraez has been on the team. Give us your impressions. I mean, starting from we talked to you last Friday. We found out about the trade later that night. Maybe you had an inkling. Maybe you didn't. And then he shows up on Saturday with that spectacular day. And certainly seems like the guys on your team have loved having him this past week.
Yeah, he's been a value add across the board. Obviously, this dude can absolutely flat out hit. What a surgeon with the bat, and what a debut too. I mean, just put on an absolute clinic, and he's going to elevate us clearly at the top of our order. Quality of bats, being able to get on base. Also, bottom of our lineup needs to get on. He'll drop some guys in as well. So a lot of benefit to him, but also just the residual benefit of what he's going to do to just a pro at bat, man. And he's just a guy that just likes to. I mean, he likes to play. He loves to play, and has great energy. So he's one of these guys that are going to bring people along with him. And so there's just a lot to like about Luis.
How's David Macias's chest right now? Because he's been getting worn out, man. The first game too, I was like, that was karate chop right to the pecs. Now my chest would have caved in, Ben's chest would have caved in, but Macias is a pretty tough dude.
Macias, tough dude, works out. Still a younger guy. Played, rearview mirror's not too far away from his playing career.
Yeah.
Athletic young guy, so he'll be all right. We might get him a chest protector, but he'll be fine.
Joined by the skipper, Mike Shildt, here on Ben and Woods this morning. You know, we kicked it around earlier in the week, well, because we didn't really have anything else to talk about. You know, we thought to ourselves, I do wonder if organizations have ever been tempted to use a guy like Luis Arraez in a different spot than the top of the order. Obviously, you love a table setter, certainly. You love, you know, Toddy coming up with the guy on base, maybe first, maybe second. But has there ever been, you know, have you guys kicked around the notion of, I mean, if he hits in the 3-hole, we could have 2 guys on base because the guys above him are pretty good too, and he could drive in some runs. Is that something you'd ever consider, you know, tinkering with?
No, I never think about the lineup.
No, never.
I have no idea what
idiot.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the
I'm
answer.
just messing with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? It's a great question. It really is. It's a great question and good debate. And something I've thought about and there's been discussion about. You know, I alluded to it a moment ago. I like where he's at now for a couple of reasons. One, he's done it historically and done it very, very well. Doesn't mean he clearly can't do it in another area. 2, we have had production from the bottom of our lineup.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and so I do feel like, and he's already done it, he's got the ability to drive in runs based on the guys at the bottom. And then you look up and, you know, our big boys are there to drive in runs. And if you got a guy that's going to be on base a lot, I see the value in that as well. You know, we'll see what it looks like. We'll play with it. And if we think we got to adjust it, you know, we won't, you know, shy away from doing that. But I also really like where the guys are with Toddy. And I mean, you're following him with Toddy, Crony, who's obviously in a great place.
Yep.
And Manny and Pro and Bogey. So it's pretty good guys behind him that, you know, can drive him in. But yeah, it's a reasonable question and something we have thought about.
Yeah, you know, and Arraez and Solano, you've got more depth now. And in some ways, though, making your job a little tougher because early in the season, actually pretty simple. Manny's DHing, got to put someone at third. They're going to be near the bottom of the order. There's only a little bit of tinkering you could do. Now, with Manny back at third and more depth and more options and, yeah, to choosing which guys are going to DH and get off their feet each day, it actually probably is giving you more to think about every single day. How are you kind of approaching that with the new toys that you've been given?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I mean, you'd way rather have too many options like, oh man, what am I going to do than going, how am I going to do it? You know? So it's just a balancing act. I mean, you know, we've got our lineup we'll run out today. Manny will be at third and, you know, they got a righty going and, it'll be a little bit contingent upon, you know, the pitching and, you know, who we're facing and best matchups. And then it'll be about, you know, getting guys off their feet. You know, we just had a day off yesterday, so it's not as big a factor for this series. But, you know, moving forward, how we can give a guy a blow with using the DH as a spot as well. So it'll be fluid.
All right, I'm going to do just a tiny little bit of nitpicking since I mentioned this on the air, and you always say, hey, just give me a chance to respond to it. So, we had a discussion about the late game defensive switches. Specifically, you know, Jurickson's been coming out for Jose Azocar, had the game against the Cubs where Jackson went into his spot and ended up coming up, and I'm going, oh, I wish Jurickson was still in there. He's so hot right now. How do you the decision making? Obviously, defensive, when you've got a lead, you want good defense in there. I totally get that. But are there situations when you know, hey, we got a 1-run lead. It's not going to be held every single time. Do you want to keep your offensive players in there just in case in some of those closer games?
Oh man, what a great question. I'm glad you asked it. That one was a doozy because you're sitting there and you're in a place that I have history in with an outfield that can be, and look, you know, it's not like Pro's a good outfielder. He's a solid outfielder. So let's start there. Sugar with Jackson and Toddy may be the best outfield, or at least one of them in baseball defensively. And Sugar's metrics, which is something that you follow, that, you know, allows you to understand the quality of what we're getting out there, is top of the charts in the league. So, and you know, Wrigley's got a lot of different, you know, wind variables. It wasn't blowing too bad that night, but it was, you know, I mean, half their left fielder who plays at home was, you know, having some, not issues, but he wasn't catching it. You know, he wasn't in control of it the whole way. So that's a factor. The next factor is we do have the lead, and I am going to get the best defense out there. It's not absolutely blindly. I knew that spot was coming up fifth the next inning. There's no guarantee we're going to get there. It's probably less than 50% that you're going to get there. And you have 2 innings of defense with Sugar in a tougher environment defensively. Plus, with Yuki going in, he's a little bit more of a fly ball pitcher, as is Suarez. Although Suarez, is clearly getting a lot of punch out.
Yeah.
So that was the factor. Plus, I know they're not going to run out. They got one lefty in the bullpen, Lovelady. They're not running them out in that part of the order to go grab Jackson. And, oh, by the way, I'm getting a Jackson Merrill to hit against a righty, which is pretty good too.
Yep.
So I knew I'd still get a quality at bat if that spot came back up. But I would have had a harder time looking at myself in the mirror if something would have fell down the line or something in front that, we might have had a defensive advantage. And but of course, hey, that's why we play the games. They don't always work out, but that was the logic.
See, I think I'm savvy looking like 1 step, 2 steps ahead maybe, but Mike's already looking like 7 steps beyond that as to what could happen, and that's why he's the manager of the team, and I'm sitting here in front of a microphone.
That's exactly right, Benjamin. Joined by the skipper, Mike Shildt, and we've talked to you. We've talked to you a few times this season about Xander Bogaerts, and I feel for him, because he's a guy that will stand there, Mike, and tell you straight up, I'm not good right now, man, and you read the quotes, and it pains you as a human being and that wants him to go out and do well. And I know nobody's taken this harder than him. As a manager, he's watching film. He's trying to get better. And when he himself says, I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I mean, we watched a game against the Cubbies the other day, and, he takes a 3-1 pitch down the middle, and I go, oh, man, this is totally in his dome right now. How hard is that part of your job of trying to go over to Xander and say, bro, we got you. Like, just kind of reset. And how hard is it for guys to actually reset and find their way?
Well, it's harder for them to reset and find their way, especially guys like Bogey, who care so darn much, and want it so badly. Not only for himself, but for the organization, his teammates. I mean, this is a guy that, does want that 3rd ring for this group. But that's the other flip side of it. Does have 2 rings and has had, and the comforting part, look, we love on him. I love on him. His teammates love on him. The staff loves on him. He knows he's supported. And in talking to him, he's like, man, this thing it's been worse, And so you got a reference point to know that this guy has gone through something similar. Look, if you're going to play 10+ years in the big leagues every day, if you don't think you're going to have stretches where it's just not very good at this level, I mean, you're kidding yourself. But think about this. Think about how many people have those stretches but never get out of them and are up and down guys or don't come back, don't recover from the stretches. But that's why guys that have 10+ years of experience you can count on, because that's really the separator of what they've been able to do, how they made adjustments, how they've been able to get out of funks, how they've been able to still contribute to their team in other areas. So, Bogey's, obviously admittingly, frustrated and struggling and super transparent. But, we love him, support him. And, the fact of the matter is we've given him a little bit of break. But we trust him to be able to play out of it. But he has contributed. It's not like this guy's not gotten hits, hadn't done anything on the road. He got some big hits and some good at-bats for us to help us win that road trip. So it's not like he's not contributing anything. It's just relative to what his expectations are, and of course others. But all we can do is deal with our own. Yeah, and so somebody made the point in the chat. I mean, there's some really good hitters at the big league level, not off to the best starts. 40 games into the season, right? And big names. High money names as well. And obviously we're all pulling for Bogey. We feel like we need him to go to the next level. And once you get kind of everybody firing on all cylinders, Skip, I know that you see the potential of what this team could be. And I said it this week. I'll stand by it.
for a 20-20 team, it's really been a pretty good product, man, and to watch every day. And it's been a fun brand of baseball that you've got the guys playing right now. You got a tough series this weekend against the Dodgers. I don't know that Tyler Glasnow is the prescription for getting a guy back on track, but stranger things have happened in this game.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the guy's got a nice arm, they got a good club, and but I say it, and we'll continue to say it's respectful of the opponent, but it's about how we compete and how we're going to get after it and how we're going to play the kind of baseball that we play that has been able to be successful for us. And again, we click a little bit more in some areas. It'll only continue to get better, but yeah, we'll show up and we'll be ready to rock tonight. And I know Petco will be a great atmosphere.
Be jamming.
Yeah, I got one more, and we've talked about how bullpen management may be the toughest job for any manager. You've been very honest about it, and I agree with you when you say you've got guys like Wandy and Enyel who have done it on the big league level. You're going to stick with them, and I totally understand that. There's been a lot of times where you've aggressively managed, where you bring a guy in, Enyel especially lately, get the final out of an inning, and then he sits and then comes back in the next inning. Is that ever a concern in terms of the performance? I know it could just be a random small sample size thing where, the trouble has come in that second inning, but do you worry about getting a reliever up, bringing him in, then having him sit, then come back out, for other outs when a lot of guys are used to just pitching one full inning and then that's it for their night?
I wish people really knew what I knew.
Yes, yeah.
And you know what I really wish? I mean, I'll answer your question, but and it's really not a wish. It's fine. It's probably the thing that not everyone, people mostly think when they question. Which again, I'm okay with the question, but it's the reality and the PlayStation version of managing a bullpen.
Yeah.
Guys aren't available every day. I hate to break it to you. And when you watch a game and you go, he had to send him back out. Why'd he do it? There's an understanding that, at least for me, that like I know that who may or may not be available in the bullpen relative to the last 2 to 3 days. So people go, he sent him back out. First of all, sending the guy back out after one pitch.
That's what I said. Come on.
Is not overly, it's not overly aggressive.
Well, you're a monster for that. I mean, you and your overworking that's ridiculous.
Guy throws a pitch and you got 2 more relievers available, and one you want to absolutely stay away from, and one you don't want to work 3 days in a row. Yeah, he needs to go back out because that's what you have. So I don't, I appreciate the question, but
I'm sorry about
I
him.
appreciate the answer as well.
I'm so sorry.
And it's not just the one pitch. In fact, I of course would have brought the same guy out and done the same thing, even in your shoes there.
Even on PlayStation, you're going to run him back out there again.
You know what? I can't tell you how.
PlayStation, they refresh every single.
They are.
That's true.
Yeah, they're never
And
tired.
you just hit the reset button.
They're never mentally out of it. They're always right there for you on the PlayStation. I can't tell you how much though we appreciate your candid answers and giving us your time each Friday morning. I think it's really insightful for the fans out there to get your perspective on things. So appreciate it, and we'll look forward to chatting with you again next Friday.
All right, sounds great.
Thanks so much.
Good luck against the Dodgers. Mike Shildt, manager, a manager's report brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking, it's better.
Guy's going to split you open with an axe the next time he sees you. I
Next
can't
time we
wait.
get
Yeah.
Just like Tony Gwynn Jr. The Axeman. Mike
such a
Shildt.
know-it-all.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, he's great.
All right, we got to take a time out. Yep. We'll come back. You can react to what you heard from the skipper, Mike Shildt there. Get you ready for the Dodgers this weekend. Don't go away. More Ben and Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. As always, a phenomenal job by the skipper, Mike Shildt, of just explaining everything after, coming back. Then the team is playing really well right now. And, I had the idea of, like, why would you take Jurickson Profar out at the end of the game? And, his spot could come up. The way he explained, okay, I know he's coming up fifth the next inning.
May not get there.
Which he may not get there, which is absolutely true. And Wrigley Field and the tricky winds out there and just putting your best outfield, it's a one-run lead. So I know I'm taking a risk there, but then I know who's, available out of their bullpen who might be coming in that situation that was going to try to, turn Jurickson around. I know the matchups and the numbers. I think as fans, we don't sometimes realize how expert of a level that they get to when it comes to major league managers and general managers and trying to set their teams up for success. And while we may disagree with some of the decisions, and that's okay, that's part of being a fan, I think the one thing you have to trust is that they are trying to make the best decision possible based on the information that they have and an imperfect science in every single game. But trust Mike Shildt that there is a reason behind these decisions. He's not simply haphazardly by the seat of his pants making some guesses and hoping. He's got real rationale behind those decisions, and I just find that really impressive every time we talk to him.
It's fascinating. Anytime you get to talk to a manager that's open and willing to talk about the moves that he makes or doesn't make, man, and I love that. I think that's such good insight, and instead of just, I thought it was the right decision, and went with my gut. And even if you told me, I went with my gut, didn't work. I mean, I'm fine with that
You're
too.
gonna say it back.
I'm absolutely fine with that. I'm the decision maker. I made the decision. It didn't work. Suck it. I mean, what do you want? That's pretty much it. We all have that in our lives. We make decisions. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're wrong. I just thought that was really cool. He's a refreshing dude. Man.
Yeah, Calvin and Chet says, I don't agree with taking out Profar, but I respect that answer.
100%.
How could you not?
100%.
When he explains it in such detail for everybody out there, for us and for the Tier 1. So really good stuff, and playing good baseball.
It is a weird gig, man. We've played that scenario before of like anything you do for a living, whatever it is that you do. Imagine walking out the door after your shift is done, and there's somebody there with a microphone going, "Why'd you do that?" Well, listen, I've been a plumber for 20 years. I've seen this problem before. I went with this. It didn't work. Thing blew up in my face. I got covered in water and pee-pee right now. So, but I've got 20 years doing this. What do? You're a plumber reporter? All right. That makes sense. I know you like to play plumbing on your PlayStation. Super fun to do a simulator. But I've been out there in the real world doing this. It is such a weird job, the job of a coach. Really. I mean, the game's over. You won, you lost, whatever. And you got to walk out and go, yeah, this is why I did it. And this is why. Thank you. I love that part of it, though. I like trying to get the understanding. I also like when managers get bitchy about it, too. I do. I think it's fantastic. Because guess who would be the bitchiest?
We've seen it a couple of times
right
this year.
I'd be the bitchiest manager of all time.
In the post-game scrums and such.
Somebody interviewed me after
you wouldn't
the show.
be human if it didn't.
Correct.
If it didn't wear on you at some point.
No doubt.
The expectations.
Woodsy, why did you do that bit there?
Of that job.
Because I know what I'm doing. That's why. That's why I did it. That's why we do this. Because I know what I'm doing. Any other questions?
I respect the heck out of Mike Shildt.
I do too.
So
he's great.
And of course, I'm hoping that he's absolutely going to have a long, successful tenure here with the San Diego Padres for sure. I love what I've seen the first 40 games of this season so far.
You know what? Somebody said Woodsy post-game interview after a Tier 1's loss. You don't want that. You know why? Because I'm probably the guy that's throwing everybody under the bus. Yes. Well, I mean, you got to make plays. Ball's hit right at you, hits you right in the glove, squeeze the thing. And let's get out of that inning. Pick up our pitchers. You don't like that very much. Yeah, I would not be a good big league manager. No chance. It'd be really hard for me to be like, Ben, you're out there hitting, a $110. No, I believe in Ben. I trust in Ben. He's going to figure it out. Be tough.
Yeah, I agree.
To not be like, Ben is terrible right now. He's terrible. I don't know where his head's at. It's clearly not on baseball.
I'm thinking about the things that I like right now.
He's thinking about the things he likes. He's thinking about. He's probably thinking about golf. If I'm being honest with you, Ben Higgins is batting 110 because his mind's on the golf course. He's the
long week. Yeah,
he's the new Jake Arrieta.
We got one segment left, and then we're done for the week. the weekend. I'm going to get some rest, going to the game tonight. Looking forward to it, absolutely. We'll get to a preview of the weekend and things Ben likes to wrap things up as we head into Annie and Elston at 10 o'clock. Don't go anywhere. Hey, you've been here the whole time. Might as well stick around for the end with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. On your way to work on a Friday, want to keep listening to us even after you park the car with the Odyssey app and Odyssey.com. You can just download the app or visit Odyssey.com, search 97.3 The Fan. Click on our show. Download the Odyssey app today to get started. All right, we're going to go through the matchups for the weekend. Obviously, there's no easy matchups against the Dodgers. There's never a day where you go, well, we got them today. They got no hope today. It's always a tough matchup. But Padres are 3-2 against the Dodgers so far this season, which is terrific. We will look ahead to this weekend series after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
A couple of problems wrapping up our morning drive. One is a collision on southbound 5 right at the eastbound King Freeway transition ramp. It's in the center divide. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a couple cars on the South 5 coastline, Palomar Airport Road. They're over to the right shoulder. It does not appear to be a collision. Looks like one vehicle may be assisting the other. So just be extra careful there. Move over a lane if it's safe to do so. That's South 5, Palomar Airport Road. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Michael King on the mound tonight against Tyler Glasnow in the first game of the series. Did you know, Woods? Because I didn't until I just looked it up. Padres have won Michael King's last 4 starts. Now, that also includes an 8-7 win over the Dodgers in 11 innings. Oh, no, those are the first 4 starts. Last one was 13-1. Got plenty of offensive support, but he also pitched very well with 6 shutout innings. Going back, though, it's kind of been feast or famine for Michael King. When he's in the strike zone, when he's in the ballpark, he's been fantastic. When he's been out of the strike zone and gives up the long ball, it's been rough for Michael King. It's been the tale of 2 Michael Kings so far this season.
Yes, this is a different lineup than even he faced in Korea. You got to keep the ball in the ballpark, and they're hitting, I think, on the average 4 home runs a game. I mean, it's just like it's not the greatest recipe for success, but in this dumb game, anything can happen. And if he can locate Benny, and I don't know that he's going to get a ton of swing and miss per se, but I do think if you can use your defense, you can keep us in the game, certainly. But you got to get to Glasnow. That's going to be the tough part, because it's one thing for your pitchers to do well. You have to score on the other guy as well. And Tyler Glasnow in his last start struck out 10 Braves in 7 innings. He's allowed just 3 runs in his last 3 starts, 21 innings. So he's on a heater right now. So you got to find a way to break that up.
It's gonna come down to, can the Padres come up with a big hit in a big situation?
Yeah.
Hopefully you'll have at least a couple of opportunities. Do you cash in on them or not? Do you run into one? Because he's probably not going to give up 6 or 7 runs. But you don't necessarily need that. If you've got Michael King and he's pitching well, and in 3 of his last 6 starts, 7 innings, no runs, 7 2/3 innings, 1 run, 6 innings, no runs. The other 3, 5 1/3, 6 runs, 3 2/3, 4 runs, 5 innings, 4 runs. If you get the good Michael King, this is going to be a terrific matchup tonight that the Padres absolutely can win. If you get the other Michael King, well, yeah, it might be a tough one against Tyler Glasnow. We saw against Shota Imanaga, who's probably been even better than Glasnow so far this year.
Yep.
The Padres weren't bad. They didn't score until the 8th inning, obviously, but they had some hits. They had some chances. They just didn't cash in. You're going to have to cash in on one of those opportunities against Tyler Glasnow probably to give you a chance tonight. So, Michael King, a lot of that rests on his right arm tonight in keeping the Padres in the game the way that Randy Vasquez did on Tuesday night and gave them a chance to win that game. Ultimately, they didn't win it, but the pitching gave them a chance to win. Padres will be looking for that from Michael King in Game 1 of the series tonight.
Yes,
Tomorrow is scheduled to be Matt Waldron against James Paxton. Paxton actually 4-0 with a 3.06 ERA.
Of course
he's got that Dodger thing, like
stink. The stink they put on him. That's
stench.
The lab. Going to the lab, come out smelling fresh.
The question is, can Matt Waldron now bounce back and show one of those good Matt Waldron starts we've seen? Because like Michael King, he's also been either, pretty good or he's gotten in a lot of trouble early.
By the way, looking at James Paxton's numbers, his expected ERA is 6. 6! He's sitting at a 3.06. His expecting batting average is 263. Fastball velo is very mid. Average exit velo though is very mid.
Right.
Doesn't get any strikeouts. Walks a ton of guys.
Timing's been good. Had some hard hit balls at people this year.
That's what happens. That's what happens. 32 innings pitched, struck out 18. Ben.
That's Saturday's game. And then Sunday, it's going to be Yu Darvish against Walker Buehler, who will make his second start in 2 years after coming off the injured list and making his debut earlier this week. Gave it, like 3 runs in 4 innings or something in his first appearance. So he is certainly not peak Walker Buehler at this point. I don't know, when the Dodgers kind of expect that, but anytime a guy's been out that long, there's going to be some easing back into it. You're not going to expect him to throw 7 or 8 innings. They'd probably be thrilled if he got to 5 in his second start as they get back to him. So this is an opportunity. You're looking ahead at the end of the series with Darvish coming off 2 excellent starts, both 5 innings, no runs, building back up the arm after the trip on the injured list. Maybe you're hoping for another, 6 or 7 inning performance by Darvish. You've got that one at least at the end of the series going, okay, Dodgers bullpen's a little injured. Buehler's probably not going to go deep. You've got that chance on Sunday. Can you get one of these first 2 and give yourself a chance to win the series on Sunday?
Yeah,
that would be outstanding.
I think you can. I absolutely think you can. And I said at the beginning of the week when I saw the pitching matchups, I think you can beat James Paxton. But listen, like Craig said on the roundtable yesterday, we're only going to go as far as our starting pitching will take us. And you need big outings from Michael King, and you need with a knuckleballer. I mean, Craig talked about, they looked at the chart for where his knuckleballs go, and it's all over the place. And now you're worried about pass balls, and it's hard to corral. It's having a knuckleballer as your 5th starter is just throwing a dart at a board. I mean, you're just like, I hope the knuckleball's working today, and I hope if it is working, we can catch it. And so it's a little bit dicey in that respect. Let me ask you this: would you feel better on Saturday if they were running out a Randy Vasquez or somebody of that nature? Don't you feel like it kind of evens it out a little bit instead of, I sure hope Matt Waldron and the knuckleball is floating and maybe he should throw it more? But if he does throw it more, there's more opportunity for guys to advance on pass balls and things like that. It just feels like a crapshoot. And I know he pitched well against the Dodgers. He did. But it does feel like a crapshoot.
Well, yeah, I think every knuckleballer feels a little bit like that.
Yep.
But you know what? Yeah, most teams' 5th starters, even without a knuckleball, are kind of a crapshoot at the end of their rotation. If he was so good that every start he was delivering you consistently 7 innings, 1 or 2 runs, guess what? He's not your 5th starter. He's your number 1 or your number 2.
Yeah.
Someone has to be the guy who you're hoping, you cross your fingers and you're hoping for a little bit at the end of the rotation. If you're so blessed that all of your pitchers, you feel confident every time they go out that they're going to deliver a quality start every time, congratulations on your deep playoff run and likely World Series title. Last year, Padres were pretty lucky in that, both Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha, who were viewed as the back of the rotation guys, had such good seasons. That is very rare. Most teams are in the spot that the Padres are in right now. It's, you got a couple guys you feel good about, you got a guy or 2 you feel okay about, and then you got a guy who's, let's hope that he's got it on today, or that at the very least, when the balls are hit hard, they're at somebody.
You gotta win a couple of these games.
You do.
You can't start. What was 1 and 9 or something? Yeah,
Chris's stat 11 and 19 and 11 when everyone else starts. 1 and 9 when it's Waldron or Vasquez. And it's not all their fault either. Right. They've had good starts and no run support when they've had the good starts.
But you got to win those.
But
games.
You can't go all season long winning 10% of your games when your 5th starter starts. You're putting too much pressure on the rest of your rotation to do that. So that's what we've got this weekend. We'll come back on Monday to wrap it all up. And then the Rockies come to town. You just definitely, whatever happens this weekend against the Dodgers, you can't let have any no hangover. I mean, even if they swept the Dodgers, you can't just run in and just have a hangover against the Rockies. So that'll be the focus when we get to Monday. We'll break everything down when we get there. But yes, after a long week, I'm always good to hear about things that I like.
Me too.
To wrap things up. So let's finish with the extended remix version. I like good, juicy, sweet strawberries.
I like a good marching band. I like a good thin pancake.
I like a Nickelback song or two.
I like a barbecue chicken pizza. I really like those seeds. I like a midnight buffet. I kind of like the smell of soft scrub. I like more of a small derriere. I like cake.
I like Ed Sheeran.
I like both a hamburger and a cheeseburger. I like clocks. I like how I've kind of set up my life. I like grasshopper pie.
Oh, no, I like it creamy. I like good, firm banana.
I like just looking out at the sea. I like eating.
I like moist.
I like curry.
I like big butts.
I like fried Brussels sprouts. I like more of a firm filling. I like corn.
I like Nordstrom. I do like musicals.
I like pepperoni. I like nice hotels. I like Nick getting a start today. I like nuts. I like Steph Curry. I like that song.
I like Squirt.
I like sake. I like San Diego State.
I like Straight Up, Paula Abdul.
I like the beef and broccoli. I like to mix it up. I like Science Experiments. I like that song. I like the crispiness of the waffle. I really like cheese. I like the little lunch meat. I like very straight lines. I like cannelloni. I like a well-crafted headline. I like brown sugar. I like maps. I'll say I like Justin Turner.
I like going to golf games. I like diving into chores.
I like sugar.
I do like Butterfinger. I like blue and silver are not bad colors. I like the time change. I like Major League Baseball's new rule. I like the radio. I like geography. I like the knuckle method. I like Skippy. And I like pie. And I like Bob Melvin. I really do. I like Jace Tingler, too. I like this day. I like being right. I still do like movie scores. I like good food. I like maps. Right. I like when interviews can turn into organic conversation.
Right.
I do like a Stouffer's French bread pizza. I like having the wind go through my hair. I think I like shows that the characters have an arc. I like the full lettuce, tomato, onion experience as well. I like those kind of burgers. I like the big overflowing bag of fries. I like those little Smarties rolls. I liked what I saw from Seth Lugo. I liked his competitive fire. I like walking around between the different lands. Steve Kerr, though, I like that. I like living on the coast. I like watching Tiger still. I like the idea of that matchup. I liked what I saw in the preseason. I like the aloneness sometimes of Texas Hold'em. I like watching San Diego State basketball. I like those cashew buttered cashews. I like cold, clear sake. I like a lot of things. I like Chick-fil-A sauce. I just like rankings. I like Steve Winwood. I like Pie Gal Poker. I like to be informed on subjects. I like Chicago. I like Tom Petty. I like the idea of another left-handed bat in the lineup for sure. I do like a good Matt Damon film. I like being on the same page. I like broccoli. I like Brussels sprouts. I like a lot of things. I like this shirt. I like Wipeout. I liked my omelet. I like San Diego State at home. I like when a baseball player can be more than just a baseball player. I like vanilla. I like the atmosphere. I like the felt on a poker table, just kind of how it feels under your fingers when you're there. I like rhubarb pie. I like the window seat. Changing the subject. I like that. I like just the standard yellow peep. I like how San Diego State's playing right now. I like finer things. I like calling a game. I like fiction more than nonfiction, just like the cream. I actually like playing golf with other people. I've liked everything I've seen so far from Mike Schill. I like Mexican food. I like just the solar system. I do like steak. I like specifics. I like going to 7 Mile Casino during the day. I like that people are there having a good time. I like my new eating schedule. I liked what I was eating. Yeah, I like the variety of the menu at Sammy's. I do like a good midnight buffet.
There's always like not a new one, obviously. We hear them every week, but there's always a different one that I'm like, that's my favorite one.
It changes. The one I noticed is I'd like another left-handed bat in the lineup. Well, they went and got that left-handed bat in the lineup, and I have liked it. In fact, seeing Luis Arise play.
You go, I like blue and silver. They're not bad
They're
colors.
not bad
They're
colors.
not bad colors.
What was that about?
The Detroit Lions?
The Lions, maybe? Cowboys or something? Here in Dallas?
I am looking forward to seeing Luis Arise in person in a San Diego Padres uniform.
Yeah. You going
City
tonight?
Connect uniform. Yep, tonight.
He'll look good in it.
Yes, he will.
He will look good in it. Yeah, you won't.
No, that's why I'm not going to be wearing a City Connect uniform tonight. But if you see me at the game, say hi or don't. It's fine. Whatever you want.
What he's saying is give him a kiss on the lips if you see him.
He loves hugs.
Quietly look and say, hey, there's Ben Higgins over there to yourself, and enjoy seeing me at the game tonight.
He doesn't want you guys to know this. It's something that only we know, but I'll pull the curtain back. He loves hugs. Really, he loves them. He loves them from strangers. The more drunk you are, the bigger and tighter. That's his favorite. And all the things he likes. He loves drunken.
Maybe I'll just sit in the press box tonight.
Drunken hugs from strangers, from drunken strangers.
Hey, real quick, before we get out of here, one more time.
Yes.
Tickets are on sale now for the third annual ish Ben and Woods Open. Find it on all of our social media channels, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Find the link in our profile. Get out there. Get your tickets today.
Share with your golf-playing friends.
I thought you guys were going to wish the moms another Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day again.
Buy your mother a spot in the Ben and Woods Open. There you go.
Yes. Hell
Two
yes.
birds, one stone right there. All right, that's it for us. I like Annie
I love
and
you
Elston.
moms out there, all you moms.
Coming
the
up
Mills,
next,
all of you.
I like
You're
moms.
the best.
Have a great weekend. Have a great Mother's Day, everybody. We'll talk to you on Monday at 6 a.m. on 97.3 The Fan. So long.